It spins and it spins. All right. Good evening. Welcome to American Hammers TV, part of the American Hammers Network, if you didn't know. Listen, if you haven't done it already, all right? If you haven't done it already, please like and subscribe. We could really use more subscribers to the channel. It helps us with our standing with Google. It helps us with a lot of things. Helps us keep the channel going. So subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends. Like our stuff. It really helps us a lot. It only takes a second. If you do like our stuff, please let us know by liking it. What do I always say? If you want some merch, ahtv.threadless.com. So as in without threads, threadless.com. AHTV, like American Hammers TV.threadless.com. I can't slur my speech when I say that, otherwise you won't be able to understand what I'm saying. So check it out. There's some good stuff. There's American Hammers TV stuff. There's local supporters group stuff that our friend Alex down in Mississippi designed for a lot of our supporters groups here in the U.S. and also Canada and other parts of the world. And there's some West Ham stuff too. There's just some plain West Ham stuff, some funny stuff, some good stuff. We are in the process. I have not rescheduled Bill Gardner yet, but I'll let you know when we do. We're going to do it. I just haven't done it yet, so that's my fault. But anyway, we'll do it and we'll tell you about it. Anyway, so tonight, in a few minutes, we're expecting Tom to come on with us, as he's been doing lately. But first, I want to tell you that we're in the presence of royalty, that we're in the presence of nobility, because the king is here. The King of Prussia, Wally. How you doing, Wally?
Oh, I'm doing really good, and you flatter me. I'm only living in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. I am not truly royalty. Although I'm glad you treat me like that. I appreciate it very
Well, I don't
much.
think
Thank you.
Prussia's not really a country anymore, so but
True.
you're always going to be the king to us down
right.
there in the greater Philadelphia area, if
That's
anything
right.
about Philly can be considered greater. Anyway, next to me on the screen, down in Maryland, but his daddy's from Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Another Pennsylvania guy, my constant companion now on these nights. It's Lucas. How you doing, Lucas?
I feel fantastic. We had a great sports weekend. West Ham won. Steelers beat the Browns. Really good weekend.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I was glad Pittsburgh won. There's something about Baker Mayfield I just don't like. So I was.
He's such a rah guy.
I was glad Pittsburgh won that game. Hey, and it's good to see Danny here tonight. Danny obviously is a good friend of ours. He's been on the show many times. Our friend down in North Carolina. We haven't seen him in a little while. He's got those are his kings right there. Those are his two little guys right there, his twins. Adorable little boys. Danny takes care of. Those are his boys.
Hope all is well, brother.
Good to see you, Danny. Yeah, I hope all is well, man. I know things have been a little up and down for you, so I hope all is going well. And down there doing a Charlie Walsh, eating while on the camera. No, we don't care about that. It's our proper cockney. My other constant companion pretty much every week. It's James. How are you, James?
All good, mate. Loving life, being a West Ham fan at present, and long may that continue, mate. All good.
Well, you have to be. You have to be. I was tonight. We had my coach my son's team, which are third and fourth graders, so they're more or less between the age of 8 and 10. And we had a parents versus kids game at practice for our last practice tonight. And it was a lot of fun. The kids did really well.
Did you score?
Of course. I had to at least one. Okay, I had to score at least one. All right. I mean, the thing is, they outnumbered us. Like there were probably twice as many of them as there were of us. We just threw. It was like we threw them all on the pitch, right?
Did you take the Michael Jordan approach? With his famous quote.
I mean, when I needed to, yes, when I needed to. I did slot one into the bottom corner, and it really, I have to tell you, I dribbled through like 4 kids and slotted it home, and I got to say, it was a huge rush of power to do that, because I can only do that to 8 and 9-year-olds. I can't possibly do that to adult men or women, either one. So, it was fantastic. So I will say that was great. Also had a couple of assists that would make Declan Rice make a tear come to his eye, trickle down his cheek. But anyway,
what celebration did you use? That's the big
I can't
question.
do that. No, I can't. Did
you use the Ben Johnson, which Somebody
I
needs to
thought of,
describe what that was.
I
I'm
thought
not
about
exactly.
my favorite of all time is Antonio, where he does the Homer Simpson, where he he rolls around on his back and does a circle. That one.
I
Yeah.
like the one where he's just humping down the pitch line.
Where he just when he scored the goal at Tottenham, when he scored the first goal in the new stadium, he just like starts humping something
That's
in front of him.
probably
That
out
one
of-
was amazing.
out of all the West Ham celebrations I've seen. I think that's the biggest shithouse celebration I've seen.
Oh, because it's just, I mean, it's dirty, and it was like in their stadium.
And it was the first away goal they conceded.
It was
in
the
new
first
stadium.
game they lost in their stadium. The first goal they conceded, and he just like sort of metaphorically like bends him over right there.
Had to be him.
Had to be him. Well, I mean, the guy is just, what can you say? He just becomes more and more of a legend with every game. Yeah. So there's another thing that I was thinking about today, and I just saw this, and I don't know if I can find the guy's name. Oh, here we go. Hang on. I'm gonna look this guy up real quick. All right. Now, there's a West Ham fan. Did you guys read about this? There's a West Ham fan who put a 25-pound bet on players getting booked in 2 different games. All right?
I did see that.
Did you read about? Did you hear this? Brian Jones. I just want to say to my friend and fellow West Ham family member Brian Jones. All right. Brian Jones put a 25-pound bet on. I'm gonna show you here. Norwich versus Leeds. Kenny McLean to be booked. Jack Harrison to be booked. You guys can see this. Pablo Fornals to be booked, and John McGinn, dirty old John McGinn to be booked.
That's unbelievable.
Right? He puts down a 25-pound bet. Look at this. The odds were like 3,000 something to 1. Okay. He won 94,000 pounds. He won 94,000 pounds on that bet.
It's a hell of a parlay, huh?
Thanks in part to Bowen, well, it's Fornals who was booked actually, but thanks in part to the challenge on Fornals, where the Villa's midfielder there, whatever his name is, rolled around. And if you guys got to watch the West Ham. Go find the West Ham clips on Twitter and watch his clip. All right, I'm not going to show it here because it'll get us shut down, and his gets shut down.
That's
all the
probably
time.
my second favorite part of winning. I just look forward to the morning after.
Yeah. Oh, if we win, if we lose, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to lie to you. If we lose, I'm not watching West Ham clips. I'm sorry.
Oh,
He's
they're
a great
fun
guy.
when we lose.
I know, but I don't. But I can't. I don't want to relive it. I need to move on. But if we win, it's the best part of the morning is getting up and watching clips before the copyright police take him down. So if you can find his video, find it and watch it. It's amazing today. But anyway, Brian Jones. What's the right to say his name was? Brian Jones. Brian. All I'm saying, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make you a deal. I'll make you an offer if you're watching. All right, Brian. All right. I got 6 people watching. Brian, I hope you're one of them. Okay. All I'm asking for is 1,000 American dollars. That's it. That's not even 1,000 pounds. 1,000 American dollars. Okay. And now listen. And this is not to me, not for me. I won't keep it. It goes to the channel. It goes to American Hammers TV. All right. It'll pay for our StreamYard. Pay for stuff like that. No, I won't keep any of it. And then I will call this show every week when we do it. From now on, this will be the Brian Jones West Ham Weekend Review. All I'm asking for is an American grand, not even a proper pound sterling grand. Just that's it. That's it.
The sponsorship deal, yeah.
It's a sponsorship deal. You get your name on our show. I'll put your picture up if you want. You live in. You've left a legacy to your family, to your children. In perpetuity. So because these YouTubes, they never go away. And the show was just going to keep going and going and going, as we know. So Brian, just give it some thought, okay? Just give it some thought. And also, congratulations. That is a pretty good day when your team wins 4-1 away, and you clear 94 grand on a bet that is just. I mean, who would even think to make it? That's the thing. It's like, who even thinks, Lucas? Would you have thought to make that bet? You're a gambling guy. Would have crossed your mind?
I'm not a huge card better guy. I feel like that is practically playing the lottery, unless there is some.
I did tell you John McGinn to get booked though, Lucas.
You
did say that. You did. Now, did you bet on it though, James? That's the question.
Yes, I did, and I had numerous other things that come in on that day, but man does not disclose any information. You know what I mean? Don't tell the missus.
Yeah, no, good. That's good. Good. All right. So I'm enjoying our success recently here, and this is not a sponsorship deal. This is just me. All right. I got a little. It's a New England IPA because I live in New England. Night Shift Brewing, Everett, Mass. Everett is a little bit. There you go. There you go. Everett is a little bit like the East London of the Boston area. It's kind of a blue collar area right next to the city. So Night Shift Brewing, Everett, Mass. This is the Whirlpool New England IPA. I will be cracking it right now. All right. So let's talk about Villa. What a fantastic performance. I know it was a little sloppy. It wasn't perfect, but come on. You can't be upset with it. Why don't you start with Lucas? Why don't you give us your impressions of Sunday? I guess that was yesterday. It feels like a week ago, but it was yesterday.
Like you said, it wasn't the best of games, but we somehow turned it into quite a professional performance. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much. I'm happy that Ben Johnson scored an absolute worldie. That'll do a lot for his confidence if he didn't already have enough.
Beautiful goal. Yeah,
I love seeing Declan score, of course. My favorite part of the game was after the game when Ben Johnson went to go hug his friend. That's what if I could describe what West Ham's all about, it's probably that. Like that got me more excited than probably winning the whole match. Seeing that really just like uplifts you. Really just like you don't see that anywhere else. Like you don't see that. You don't see a Man United player doing that, a Man City player doing that. Like that's what being a West Ham fan is all about. And that was almost better than winning the match for me. Seeing stuff like that really just amps me up.
I think it's part of what being this part of this West Ham team.
And his friend is proper West Ham too. You gotta fucking love that.
Right, exactly. It's we're gonna get to this, Ken. I said on Twitter that's not even legal in the NFL anymore. You can't you get tossed out of an NFL game for a forearm shiver like that. I know the feeling about this too. I mean it's part of being part of this West Ham squad because I think they have a lot of camaraderie, a lot of spirit. I think they're really setting themselves apart with how they're playing for each other, and we haven't always seen that from West Ham in the past.
Yeah, and if you need a shining example, that Lanzini Bowen goal at the end, like that just sums up exactly what we're all about.
Yeah, it was. I loved the last two goals. It was like watching hockey, Lucas. Guys flying in. You know what I mean? That Fornals goal. It just reminded me of a winger just flying in and taking the puck and putting it past the goalie. It was amazing.
People don't realize enough that if you just put in a shift and you try harder than the other team, you have such an advantage. Like playing hard, grafting it out, that can beat talent any day of the week. And we saw it against Man City.
Yep.
I mean, Aston Villa are no. They're not a shitty club by any means. They've got some great players, but
they have some good players. They have some players who Watkins scores against us every time we play them. Yeah.
We grafted it out against both teams, and we prevailed.
And that's something that we didn't do in the past that David Moyes has us doing. Wally, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the Johnson goal was. I think he learned from Yarmolenko to come in.
I thought you were going to say Fredericks.
Well, I did too.
Fredericks would have probably missed that, to be honest. But no. Yarmolenko, loves to do that move and bring it in on his left foot. But I don't think anybody was expecting that because Johnson is a right footer. Wow, what a sweet move. And I love that goal. But then they came back pretty quickly and scored disturbingly easily with, I think, the defensive breakdown maybe there.
Fornals got beaten. He did.
Yeah,
let's be honest, he did. He got a little bit hung out to dry. And I got to say, Fabianski's been fantastic recently. He was brilliant against Tottenham, but I forgot to mention that last week. But it wasn't his best effort on that goal. Right. I thought that was.
Ogbonna missed the interception too. He was right there, but it was just a total collapse.
It was a total collapse. Yeah. I didn't think it was Fab's best effort. I thought Ogbonna missed a chance to clear. Fornals got turned inside out. Not great. But then we scored 4 minutes later. We come down 4 minutes later.
And that was right before the half, I think. So that was that was really important. Then it felt more comfortable. And then when they got the red card and lost a player, then I felt we were in good shape, but we still couldn't score. It took us actually a long time to finally put those extra 2 goals in, and then it was just all fun and games after that. But there was a while there where, they were down to 10 men and we still couldn't score. So it was a little concerning performance considering the score line was, 1 to 4.
I mean, one thing that I think we all know about when when a team goes down to 10 men, often it kills the game because then they just defend, But I'm with you, Wally. It's a little concerning that it took about 30 minutes, I think, before we finally broke through. And the last 10 minutes were a lot of fun, but there was a half an hour there. It was like, what's going to happen here? All right, James, what did you think?
Mixed bag for me. I thought we would come out. You scored the goal. We looked good, and then we sort of went into our shell a little bit and sort of give Villa too much respect time. And the goal was coming from the Villa point of view. Like we could all see it.
Yeah.
And basically, Declan Rice yet again puts in a masterclass and gets us back in front. And to go in at half time 2-1, which I do believe we deserve to be in front at half time.
I do too.
But obviously, the second half, the sending off that we will get to in a little while. But when they went down to 10 men, I thought we was poor, mate. I thought we was allowing Villa, was giving Villa too much time. He makes the change. He brings Lanzini on for Ben Rama, and it does. I must admit, it does help us, because we get more control in midfield. And obviously, Fornells gets the goal in the 80th minute, and then Bowen sees it out. But yeah, it's a great win. It's a great win up there. We don't. It's a place when we play Villa. It's an hard one. It's always going to be an hard game at Villa Park. But you know what? I think we can do something this year. And I did say it the other week, and I said about the Carabao Cup. And I do believe it. I believe we can beat anyone in the Premier League on our day. And we proved it on Sunday.
We're going to find out on Sunday, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to find out against Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what continues to impress me about us in general this season. We have a setback, we bounce back from it. We have the loss to Manchester United in the league. It should have been a draw, difficult loss. Come back, beat them in the Carabao Cup 3 days later. We had the Brentford situation, which was kind of awful. Had to wait through the international break. We've come back. We haven't lost since then. We've run every game since then. This is not, the last time I felt like this about West Ham was when we were in the championship. When we were in the championship, 10 years ago, whenever that was, 2011, 12, I guess. I went into every game thinking we should get a result. At the very least a draw and probably a win because we're in the championship, right? I mean, you had Southampton and a couple of other clubs who were battling for the top spots, but I mean, basically when you're going up against the clubs we were going up against, Barnsley, Nottingham Forest, and the rest of them, we should get results. And this is the first time in my life as a West Ham fan when we're in the Premier League when I'm starting to feel that way about the Premier League. And I know Liverpool's a different situation, but going into Villa, honestly, I thought to myself, we should win this. I mean, there's really no reason why we shouldn't win this. I hate to predict victories. I don't like to be I'm a little superstitious, but most of the games we go into home and away, I mean, there's not very many we should look at and say, this is one where we should be happy with a draw. We should win most of the time.
The thing is, though, Lee, and it is a bit of an issue, though, is that we are relying on 11 players, obviously, and it is.
Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah,
if one of them players go down,
it's contingent on health, James. It's contingent on health. Yeah, it is.
I totally agree.
Yeah, Declan Rice goes down, and we're in a huge amount of trouble. All right, we know it happened last season, and we know that that's the case. If we stay healthy, I feel good about where we are. Yeah. I want to go back to, if you guys don't mind, because Ken's talking about it, and I'm sure everybody's thinking about it. Let's go back to the sequence. What I thought could have been 2 reds in one sequence, if that's even possible.
I'll tell you something funny after you.
I mean, the forearm shiver that I think it was Hausa, whatever his name is, put on.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that, Lucas. You can't do that in the NFL these days. You get thrown out of a game for the shot to the head like that.
I mean, I don't know. My kicker got helmet to helmeted and didn't get a flag. But
that's a good point.
what was funny about that was Courtney Howes and Kansa, they don't look too far different. They kind of look a little similar.
I got them mixed up on Twitter.
Yeah,
I got them
so
mixed up.
at first I thought Howes, the one that just absolutely Hulk Hogan Fornals, I thought he got sent off, but it was the other guy.
I did too.
I got sent off, and I was like, and I didn't notice it until like a day after the game. I was like, really?
Same. I did the same thing. I got confused during the game. I got confused when I watched the highlights. I was the whole time.
I was shocked.
The whole time I was like, wait a minute.
Because I saw everyone talking about it. Like I saw Sinclair talking about it. A bunch of other people. I was like, that guy got sent off, and then I was like, oh shit, that's not the one that got sent off.
I mean, arguably
a double red.
Arguably, the second one. I mean, I have no problem with it being a red, but it was borderline.
Yeah.
Borderline, really borderline to me. Like if that had been reversed, I would have been upset about the decision. But the first one, come on, man, that guy should get 10 games. He really should. You can't do that. James? Am I crazy? What do you think?
No, I think
this all your life. I mean,
I think you're bang on, mate. If I'm honest, the first one, the only reason why I think he's still on the pitch is he gets a touch of the ball, right, before he smashes straight through Fornals. He should have been sent off though, or he should at least been booked. Well, worst case scenario, like something should have happened.
That guy's got to be sent off. I'm sorry, he's got to be sent off.
Right, he had to go for that one. The other one, it is borderline, but he is the last man. And if Bowen does get in front, which he did, he's going to get a shot on target, isn't he? Or he's going to run on goal, basically.
Yeah,
so
he is. He's going to run on goal. Yeah.
I personally believe that VAR bottled it. In my opinion, I believe they bottled it. They thought they had to make a decision. How can they send off 2 players in one incident? It's like 2 players on the same team and all.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, it could happen, right? Is that possible? It's possible.
Well, look at it like this. If there's a foul like last man and someone goes diving in and takes someone out, it can be done. It should have been done on Sunday. Yeah. And I just think VAR bottled it, if I'm honest. I think
I do too.
I think VAR looked at it and thought, we've got 2 incidents here and we've got to send someone off. Like, and what do we do? Do we send? And what it was, I think another reason was because over the weekend there was a lot of decisions similar to the Bowens one. There was one at Leicester Arsenal where Johnny Evans should have been sent off and he wasn't. And Laporte got sent off against Palace for the same thing.
The rugby tackle.
Yeah, so when you look at it, you think, right, if they don't do it, it sort of makes the referee, like, you criticise the ref for not doing his job, so to speak. But I don't blame the ref there. I blame VAR. VAR should have looked at that and gone, you know what, he's literally cleaned him out completely there in the face. He should have been gone.
I mean, I have to say, there's a pattern. I mean, you had, I know it was the League Cup, but Sufal gets kicked in the nuts. I can't remember who was it who kicked him.
That still pisses me off.
That was Matic.
Yeah. And he misses like 3 games because he gets kicked in the nuts. And then Suchek gets his face stomped on. And don't tell me that was an accident, because it wasn't. He put his foot back and did it. And then you have the forearm to Fornals. I mean,
well, we don't have the best history of VAR.
No, we don't. But they're. I feel as though they're targeting us.
I'm still not over the Balbuena red card for clearing the ball.
I'll never get over that one. No, I know that one's just unfathomable. Yeah, that may be true. This may be true. If it had been at London Stadium, that's very possible. There was a shirt pull on Zoom on the bottom. There was also, that's true, and there was also Antonio got clotheslined at one point too.
Yeah.
Antonio got, had somebody around his neck. So one thing I liked, and this is another incident that Ken was talking about here with, I can't remember who the Villa player was. He came together with Fornals. Fornals made a challenge. It was a rough challenge.
Oh, it was Marvelous Nakemba.
Yes, that's right.
Someone said this guy's going to rule the midfield today. I quote tweeted him and said, he's going to roll the midfield.
Right. Yeah, he rolled across most of it. It was a rough challenge. I mean, it was, but what I mean, what is this guy rolling around? I mean,
Mm.
this is terrible. I hate this stuff. All right, I hate it. He's rolling around as if somebody shot him. As Ken said, as if somebody from the Alec Baldwin School of Performing Arts.
That is worse than diving.
Of course it is, because
Yeah.
you're going to get the call. You're going to get the whistle. What are you trying to do? Get him sent off? I mean,
Yeah, he
by
was trying to
rolling
get him.
around.
He was trying to
But
get
what
him
I-
sent off, though.
But what I
100%.
loved was McEwen goes over and stands over. You know, he's a big, brave guy when Fornells is on the floor, right? Then he's ready to go stand over him, right? And little Lanzini is the one who came up first,
Right.
I think.
Yeah, he did.
Pushed him out, and then Bowen comes on and
Bowen
just puts him on.
topper.
Bowen
Yeah,
puts him on his
yeah.
ass. Bowen just came in, and I
John
mean
McGinn
that
is
was
such a
yeah.
rat. I hate
Bowen
that
was
guy.
like from the top rope. I love the fact that our guys were sticking up for each other. I think
Yeah.
that means a lot.
Mm.
I don't know what you guys think. I think that meant a
Love
lot.
Yeah.
that.
There's a lot of good things that's happening at West Ham at the minute. Like it's hard to be critical of anything because they're doing so living well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The team spirit, the morale, they're all in it together. They all know what it means to the fans. Like you've only got to look at the celebrations at the end with the fans, like Lucas said.
Yeah.
They know that it means the world to us. Because we don't ask for a lot as fans. Like as fans, all
No, we
we
don't.
expect on a Saturday or a Sunday or Monday is to put in 100%. And out of 90-minute game, if we win the game, we'll be happy for that week. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know why. I look at us and I just see something special happening there. I believe when January does appear, we need to go out, need to get these players in. And if we can stay injury free this season, like last season, we got hit by Antonio getting injured and Rice getting injured right at the wrong time, and Crespo at that matter.
Yep.
If we can
Absolutely.
if we can stay free of that,
Yep.
then I believe we can get.
Or bring in cover. You know, bring in
Yeah.
acceptable cover. Yeah.
I believe we can get top 4, 100%.
James, right now, I'm a believer. All right, I'm like Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry about that. Somebody let him in. I bumped him back out. Hey, John, how are you?
What's going on?
Hey, John.
Not much. John, we're believers here. All right, we're believing in West Ham this season. We're thinking maybe
I'm
this
just
is
here
the
for
real
Wally.
thing.
Yeah. Good to see my
Oh,
buddy.
that's right. You guys are neighbors. Did you go to Stowe's on Sunday?
No, I don't think we're neighbors anymore, John. You buggered off into central Pennsylvania somewhere, right?
Yeah, I'm a little bit farther away now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you left Philly. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right.
But it
So,
never leaves you, John.
I was going to say Philly is forever.
And
Yeah.
I just got back into town, so I didn't get to Stowe's this weekend, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
So I've been down
Gotcha.
south, but
Are you in New Orleans? Were you in New Orleans?
I was in New Orleans and Florida, so
Well, New Orleans
just got
sounds
back
nice.
yesterday. Pardon?
Florida, I'm not so sure, but New Orleans sounds great.
Actually, it was the reverse. Florida's awesome, and right now, New Orleans has a little more restrictions than I think is necessary. So it wasn't quite as fun.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't realize.
Florida
that.
is
Well, that
like
makes
open
sense.
season. Everybody's
Yeah, no, I knew Florida was pretty wide open. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I can see that. Yeah. So we're talking about James. We're talking about bringing in cover for these guys, right? So what do we think about Daniel? What's his name? Krasinski, something like that. What do we think about it? You guys have any thoughts on this guy? Gonna buy
Show
into
me the
us?
money.
Yeah, the money. Let's see.
It's the beginning of the end of GSB, mate. And
Well,
that is,
It might
is
be.
it.
Go for
It
it.
might be. Here's two thoughts that I had on it, and then we can talk about it a little bit. One, I will not turn down his money. All right, he's apparently going to take a 27% stake in the club. It could, right, exactly. It could give us 40-50 million pounds to spend on players in January, which is what we need. We need a striker. We need a left back. We all know this, right? So that's great. We all want GSB out, and I still want GSB out, despite our success. I don't trust them fundamentally. All right, I think David Moyes is almost entirely the architect of our success, and he's almost done it despite their influence. The only thing that worries me a little bit about this guy, now he's better than Pi Capital. That was a joke. This guy took over Sparta Prague 15 years ago. All right, now I looked this up because I only have a wife and 2 kids and a mother in my house, which means I have nothing better to do. I looked this up, and so since he took over Sparta, they've won, I think 6. I think it's 6 league. I think it's 4 league titles and 6 Czech Cups, I believe. James nodded his head. 4 league titles and 6 Czech Cups since he took over. However, in the 15 years prior to that, they won 10 league titles and 2 Czech Cups. Now, the Cups are a little, you know how those are. But 10 league titles in 15 years versus 4 in 15 years when he was in charge. And the other thing is, our old friends from Slavia, Suchek, Sufal, those guys, they've passed them. That's the Celtic Rangers, of Czech football.
Yeah.
And Slavia have gone rocketing past them, and they've won like 3 titles in a row. So, and this is probably true. And he is worth money. Don't get me wrong.
Not just him, his whole family. Like he said, he's worth like $3 billion. Apparently, his wife is worth like $15 billion.
Yeah,
he's dating a woman. Now, my understanding is, I don't think they're married yet. He's dating a woman whose father was exceptionally wealthy and died and left her the money. She's got the money, and obviously there'll be a prenup, right? There has to be something like that. But the dude. Well, I'm just saying. I'm not wealthy. I don't know how. I think people do this. Right?
I don't know how this rich people stuff works.
I don't know how it works, but I've seen it on TV. Okay, I've seen it on TV.
Right.
What was the old commercial I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night? That's how I feel. So here I'm going to play.
Motel 6 guy.
Yeah. I am more Motel 6. That's more money I can afford is Motel 6. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he's going to have possibly access to quite a bit more money. He's wealthy. He's not Abramovich wealthy. He's not, Saudi wealthy, but he's wealthy. But his record is a little, it's kind of okay, not great, as the co-chairman of Sparta. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying I don't want him to replace GSB. I'm not over the moon about this guy because I don't look at him and think like, okay, this is our Abramovich. This is our, Dubai or whatever. It doesn't feel that way to me. Do you guys have thoughts on this guy? Have you read up on him at all?
I think it's a good move, Lee. I really do.
Well, I'm not putting down the money, James. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I will take his money.
There's no way. The way I look at this, there's no way someone's going to want 27% and not go after the full amount eventually.
Right.
Like, you just wouldn't do it. Like, if there was 5 of us here and we all owned a business, there's obviously 20%. Eventually, someone might want more, or someone might not be able to afford to run it anymore.
If you watch Gio from Hammer's Chat did a really good interview with the journalist from The Athletic who broke the story. And I can't remember the guy's name, but if you look up Hammer's Chat, go to Gio's recent interviews. He did it within the last few days. And he does a great interview with this journalist from The Athletic who says the same thing you just said, James. Nobody buys into a football club without wanting to eventually control it.
Yeah.
If it's not a really all that great an investment, really. You know what I mean? It's better to invest in something else that has a more of a solid return.
We sure about that?
He's going to want to control it.
Well,
no, I'm not sure about that.
What about Trip Smith? Trip Smith's got 10% of West Ham.
He's got 10%. Presumably, he's making money off of that. But I mean, 27% is a much bigger stake. You're going to take a quarter or something and let David Sullivan run everything for you?
I mean, we're doing all right.
Matt Slater was the journalist's name.
Thank you.
I just don't think that we're going to. I think what they're doing is they're getting him in the door because they know how much he's worth. Listen, to own a Premier League club, let's be honest, there can only be 20 Premier League clubs. Yeah. To be an owner of one of them in London is a big coup for West Ham, let's be honest. So, for me, though, Lee, and I look at it like this, I just see he's getting his foot in the door. He's going to see what it's like. And basically, I think in 2023, when that super tax disappears, that's when they will approach to buy the stadium. And then this Czech person will buy GSB out in the end and give them like 10%, or they will own something at West Ham, 10%, 5%, something like that. They will, and that'd be forever, I think, because I think not so much gold side, But I think Sullivan's side, they will keep their stake in the club. But I think this Czech is the future.
I think what Vernon says, what Ken says, I think this is where we're headed. I think Gold, it wouldn't surprise me if Gold cashed out at some point. Man's in his 80s. He's losing it.
He don't look too good either, I must admit.
He doesn't look good. And he's, of all the three, I've always said, he's the one I dislike the least because I don't think he's done the damage that the other ones have done. Although, let's be honest, guys. Let me just throw this out there, all right? I mean, this is possibly the best West Ham team in our Premier League history. That goes back to the early mid-90s. This is where we could, if we stay healthy, if everything goes the way it's going now, this could be one of the best West Ham teams ever put together. Last season's one of the best West Ham teams ever in 125 years. I mean, listen. How much do we hate these guys now? What do you think, John? What you just got here? What do you think?
Well, I still hate him, but I think when it comes to this other fella, I got to be consistent with how I was with PAI. Tell me more about your plans. Tell me more about what you want to do. Why is it that you're buying into our club? What's the future of our club? I mean, none of these things have been said. So no. I'm not willing to say this is great. I'm not willing to say this is the future. I have no idea. What's he going to do with the academy? What do you want to do with the training facilities? What is your plan? And it wouldn't shock me in the slightest to see Sullivan and Gold, let somebody into the club, get a little trickle going. And yeah, I think the tax piece has always been a big part of it, that 2023 year. But the best thing for them would be a bidding war. I mean, make no qualms about it. That is the best thing that they can hope for, is a bidding war. And if this is a Champions League club by then, if we can get a bit of investment now, solidify our place, or at least a top 6 club by then over the next, 1.5 seasons, then you're going to have all kinds of interest. And that's for Trip Smiths of the world too, and maybe some other consortiums and whoever else. So I think their best interest is to get more money, to get somebody that wants to buy more eventually, as long as the club is on the up. And at the end of the day, put the club out for sale and create a bidding war for West Ham United. So,
and that's not bad for us, is it? I mean, that doesn't seem... that seems...
No, it's not bad for us, but I wouldn't say that, they're so kind as to let him buy 25% with the ultimate goal of him taking over. I think their ultimate goal is to get as much money as possible for West Ham United. And that could be him, and it could be someone else. It could be an absolute carnage bidding war in 2023 is what I'm saying.
Well, we know they need money. All right. Ken brought this up, and and I think he's got a real point here. We know they're in debt. We know they need money. They borrowed money from Michael Dell, I think, at some point last year, if you remember. So, I mean, this feels like a little bit of a bailout. But there's no way this guy is doing this out of the goodness of his heart. It's an investment, obviously. He wants to make money back.
He's just a super nice gent.
Well, he hasn't chopped up any journalists that I know of. So I think he's a better... I think on the, what do they call it in the Premier League, the proper persons test or whatever it is, I think he'll pass that. He's one of the biggest polluters in Central Europe because he buys all these old coal mines and he refires them up and he gets energy going by coal, which is kind of, it's not a great environmental thing to do for the environment. But you know what? Again, no journalist.
Could be doing worse.
Could be doing worse.
He's got stake in Royal Mail though, and Sainsbury's
as well. Yeah.
So he's, at the end of the day, he's getting 27%, and that 27%, when we go to look at buying players, he's got the capital to back. Yeah, he can back it up.
Listen, that's huge. If he pumps that money into the club in January, it could mean the difference between top 4 and top 6.
If we legitimately had 40 million, even 30, if we legitimately had 30 million pounds to spend in January, that really is the difference between top 6 and top 4 for us, I believe.
I do too. I think it's very possible that it is, and it's hard to believe we're saying that, but it doesn't seem crazy at this point.
It feels crazy, but
I mean, why not? Listen, again, okay, we know if Declan Rice gets injured, if Antonio gets injured, everything changes. We know that, all right? It's all contingent on us being healthy and bringing in some cover in January, some good quality cover in January. Anything could derail a season at any moment. You know what I mean? But if we can keep going what we have going right now, there's no reason to think that we can't legitimately chase the top 4, which we did last season. We were 2 points off last season. So there's no reason to think we can't. And there's no reason to think we can't go for a trophy. We're headed into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, which is...
Yes, Lee. As you bring up the Carabao Cup, let's talk about that, because everyone else thought we weren't going to win last
Well, Tom is not here, and I don't know where he is. Now, he may be busy or might have fallen asleep or something because it's late at night over there. So
Listen, there was only one person who had the correct prediction last week, Lee.
that was you, John Nolan. He said we'd win on penalty. Did you say we'd win on penalties, James?
I said 0-0 and we win on pens.
You certainly did say that.
I said we will draw and go through to the next round of the competition. No FIFA talk.
Okay. No,
That's my quote.
Okay, you were
He's
right.
got that written down somewhere.
100%.
But Nolan was dead on 0-0 and 0 on pins. I said we would lose on pins, and when we went to pins, I thought, I cannot believe this is happening. I just was it was gut wrenching as the sessions always are.
I had an anxiety attack the whole game because it really. I mean, it felt like we were holding on for dear life the whole game, but in reality, we played pretty damn well.
We should have scored though. Suchek had two great chances, great chances, not just one.
Yeah.
What makes you laugh though? Talk about funny. We can't score a penalty any time. We score 5.
I know. Not only was five
bastard
fantastic
Dawson.
pins, 5 fantastic pins, as you said, Lucas. I mean, first of all, Noble puts it right down the center. That's a huge middle finger.
The fact that big bastard just put it top bins is absolutely professional as it comes.
Yep.
And he went second.
What'd you think, Wally, when Dawson stepped up? What do you think was going to happen?
I was like, what is going on? We had brought on, Fornals, I think, and Ben Rama.
Oh, credit
brought
to
those guys on.
too,
I'm thinking
quick.
they're going to be taking the penalties, but up steps Dawson, and I'm like, what is going on? But I'll tell you what, I think his penalty was the best of the bunch.
It was the best of the bunch.
Yeah.
And he did it as if he had done it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No nerves.
Because he's a massive bastard. We all knew it.
Because Craig Dawson
he's actually got a really good penalty record, though, Lee.
Does he?
Does
really,
he? I did not know
really,
that. I was not aware
really,
of that.
For a centre half, I think he's took 10 penalties or something, or 12 penalties, and he scored 8 or 9 or something. Something ridiculous like that. He's always had a good penalty record, which is surprising for a centre half, I must admit.
Well, surprising for centre half and also for Craig Dawson.
And a real quick shout out, the £1 ticket for the kids. That was great.
Yeah, that's good. You know what? They've done some good stuff. They had the £1 tickets for the kids. They went out and got some local kids and they brought them around to the match. And these are kids who might not have been at a football otherwise. These are local kids. These are I mean, the East End has changed a lot demographically, as we all know. And these were some of the new arrival type kids. And they went and I think they had a fantastic time. And I think that's great that they did that.
Big stuff.
Big stuff that they did that. You got to get listen, I mean, the old East End is gone and that's the way it goes. You got to get these new people into it, into the family. And I think it's great that they did that personally. I think that's great.
And what a hell of a match to bring into,
It's sold out. Everybody talked about how it's sold out, which I guess didn't, for a Carabao Cup match, you don't expect that, but it didn't surprise me that much. It's Manchester City, but God, I mean, the crowd was amazing.
Yeah.
And didn't we do that against City a few years ago, and City smashed us, and all the City players were signing autographs for the kids?
That was FA Cup, wasn't it? Yeah. But you know what? There's no reason to doubt this team anymore, though. Like
after that, absolutely not.
Like when I watched, obviously last week, me and Athens was having a debate about it, and the way I look at it is the first competition that we're going to go, if we carry on going the way we're going, the first competition that we get to is the Carabao Cup final. Like if we're going to do something this year, that's the first one. We've got Tottenham next round, which is tough. Let's be real. They're
managed now by Antonio Conte.
So that's going to be tough. But there's no way that we should fear anyone in the Prem. The only reason why I say about the Europa League is it's the unknown more than anything. Right. We don't know what we're going to be up against. Like we know what we're up against week in, week out in the Prem, but we one week we could be playing Zenit, and the following week we could be playing someone like Olympiacos in Greece. Do you know what I mean? So
listen. We could end up with Milan. We could end up with Barcelona, and I'm not scared of Barcelona this season, honestly. But I mean, you still got to go to the Nou Camp. You still got to go to San Siro or whatever. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Even if they're not what they were years ago. Yeah. On the other hand, though, now we got Genk coming up Thursday, and it's the early game. It's like 1:45 in the afternoon here because we haven't done our daylight savings. We haven't ended daylight savings time yet. We ended this weekend, so it's only a 4-hour difference between London and the East Coast
Let's
right now.
go.
So like a little after lunch. So my boss emailed me on Saturday. He doesn't expect me to answer on Saturday. He works all the time. He emails me and he says, "Can you come into the office either Wednesday or Thursday because I work at home?" So he's asked me to come in. I was like, Wednesday. Let's do Wednesday. Because I'm not coming in. I'm not doing Thursday. I'm not doing that. Thursday. It's like 2 o'clock, 45, 2 o'clock, I think. Now we know about these group stage games because we've played everybody, around once. I mean, I don't think it's wrong to feel confident. Do you about these next three in Europa League? I mean,
one more win, and I think we're as good as done.
Yeah, I think if we beat Genk on Thursday, there's no way anyone's catching us in that group. No chance. And we just got to go there and just get it done, and then the last two games play
the youngins out there.
Yeah, like Daniel Chester's, Fredericks.
Yeah, I think we're almost mathematically there. I think if we beat Genk and we go to, I'm not sure any. I don't do math very well.
If the other sides draw, and we beat Genk, then we're in. It's a lock. Yeah.
Then we don't have to.
It's one of those. It's one of those. Just pull the tooth now. Just pull the tooth.
Yes.
No two draws. Just get the 3 points and we're done.
Right. But Wally's saying if Dynamo and Rapid draw, and we beat Genk, then we've guaranteed to win the group. Is that right, Wally? Is that
yes? There you go. Guaranteed. Yep.
So let's just, honestly, we should do this. We should just do, and I don't mean to be overconfident, but I am confident. I don't think there's any reason not to be. We've played them all around, and we haven't conceded a goal.
I mean, seriously, after that cup game, seeing the lineup that was out there and what they did, we should be going into Thursday.
And don't forget, Lucas, that was against world-class players, as Afra's kept telling me. We're up against world-class players. We've got to understand, we've got some top-class players and all that team. Yarmolenko is making a comeback.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. If you guys follow me on Twitter, when our starting 11 came out, I said, look, we're basically just conceding this. No, I did. Lucas knows. I said, look, we're just conceding this, and I was okay with that because, look, we're trying to fight on four fronts.
Yeah.
We were in Europa League. I said, look,
I was just looking forward to seeing Arthur Masuaku play personally.
I thought, all right, Moyes is just going to throw a team out there. And basically he was trying to do exactly what he did, which was get to 0-0 and go to penalties, which worked. But I didn't think there was any way we'd get a result. I didn't think there was any way.
That was class from him to hit that triple substitution in the 70th minute. That was when I knew, like, all right, this is fucking on.
Well, that's when he knew. That's when he knew it was on, I think.
Right.
That's when he decided we can actually do this. You know what I mean? And beating a Manchester City team that had De Bruyne, that had Jesus, that was not a bunch of reserves. Those were 10 internationals. Right. And an under 21, I think, international, the Palmer, the young guy.
Yeah,
that would be one of the best teams in the world, period, anywhere at any time. And we held them, and then we beat them on penalties. That proved a whole lot to me about what this team was made of right now. Anyway, so but now Spurs have gone out and hired Conte. This news came out today. Everybody's freaking out. I'm not freaking out. Are you guys freaking out about this? I'm not freaking out about this. I don't. What do you think, John? Are you worried about Spurs now? I don't worry about them for some reason.
Fuck them.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
No, Spurs will find a way to screw everything up, so I'm not worried about it. It's the only club in history that could bring Jose Mourinho in and still go and win nothing at all with Mourinho, who's won something, everywhere he's been, or almost everywhere he's been?
Everywhere he's been. He has won, to my knowledge,
Yeah.
He's won a trophy at every club he's managed, including the Champions League with Porto, and I guarantee that's never going to happen again, ever. A Champions League with Porto, and he won a Champions League with Inter. He won at Chelsea. I don't know if he won Champions League, but he certainly won the league at Chelsea. He's won big trophies everywhere he's ever gone. Nothing with them.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it, honestly, because they're not going to spend the money required. That's why Mourinho failed. That's why Conte will fail. They're not
Too
going to
many
spend the money
internal
required.
problems.
Right.
Too much the stadium they got to pay off. There's money flying out all over the place. They ain't got the money to do it. So I'm not worried about them. They got their main striker doesn't look interested at all.
He doesn't want to be there.
He just looks terrible. And
I
the
think
rest
half
of
the
them,
team doesn't want to
they're,
be
they're overrated. I mean, when we played them, honestly, you looked at the two sides line up, and apart from Harry Kane and maybe Son, our entire team gets in ahead of theirs, I think.
You bet.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Absolutely bet.
100%.
No doubt about that.
100% what John
The
said
only
there.
three players I see
Brilliant.
from Spurs is Kane, Son, and maybe Lloris on a really good day.
Well,
I
that's
think
a
that-
really good shout.
I think the
I'd
reason
put
is his
Ariel
day
up
though.
against him.
I think there
No,
is.
I think he's not that. I think he's had his day too. But I mean, there's no reason to even be thinking about them. They fucking stink.
What John just said there is absolutely spot on. Right? They think they're above their station. Like when you look at Arsenal and you look at them, you got to respect Arsenal because they have won things and they are a decent side when they get going, so to speak. Obviously, recently they haven't been good, but I just think that's just the Arsene Wenger aftermath of it all, like Ferguson was with Man United.
Well, they
But when you
sacked
look
the best manager they've ever had. Arsene Wenger, he may have lost it at the end a little bit, but he was by far the best manager in the history of Arsenal Football Club. It's not even close.
But
Even
when you
Herbert
look at-
Chapman couldn't compare to him. You know.
But when
so.
you look at Spurs, they expect to be winning stuff. Like, and let's be honest, Spurs are no different to us. Like, really, we haven't won anything.
Not really. Yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying? But the difference with the two fan bases is they think that they should be winning stuff, and we are happy as we are, but we would like to win something rather than we want to win something.
I
we
hate
don't have
to
the
say it, but it's like familiarity breeds contempt, isn't it? I mean, we're very similar clubs. We're very similar clubs. We've been outshone by Arsenal for years, playing a little bit of the little brother. We've got good support. Both of us Spurs have got tons of supporters. I mean, that's not the problem. They got a nice shiny stadium. They've got history. I mean, they're a community club similar to West Ham. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between West Ham and Spurs. As much as it pains me to say it, but I think you're right there. Where our support doesn't expect what their support expects. I think we know who we are, and they do not know who they are at all.
Did Conte actually say? Didn't he actually said nasty things about their supporters in the past? Didn't he say something about them at some point? I think he did.
Everyone says something about Spurs, though. Lee, come on, let's be honest.
That's you're right about that, and rightly so. I think there is. I'll tell you what I see with West Ham and Spurs, and I know a manager can change this, but I think there is a rotten culture inside Tottenham right now. I think Kane is a poison. I think he's a cancer. He's a great player, but he doesn't want to be there. He's not going to put out his full effort, and if and when they sell him, they're not going to be able to replace him properly.
He's their Payet league. They've done what we did with Payet. They gave him a bonus to hang around and not want to be there.
And he's poisoning everybody else there. It's great. It's fantastic. He's poisoning Son. All these great players they do have some good players, but he's poisoning all the rest of them. And as you said, James, they're not really outside of Kane and maybe Son. They're not any better than we are.
The only difference is I think is like Harry Kane is actually like getting to the whole squad. Like obviously when Payet was doing his bullshit, like we still looked like kind of hopeful. We just had like a bad apple fall from the tree, but like Harry Kane has literally poisoned the whole tree.
Yeah, but
it only takes one. It only takes one. I mean, if you looked at that, what was it, All or Nothing on Amazon, right, where they had Mourinho in there, and the thing that stuck with me when he went in there, he said, "Oh, these are a good bunch of lads, all of them. They're nice kids. They're good. They get along well." That's what we've got now. Moyes has built that dressing room where they've just every single person adds to the culture in the locker room.
What it is, there's no egos at West Ham no more. There's no egos. They're all hard-working individuals who are all pushing in the same direction. Do you know what I mean? And when you got one who isn't, it makes it hard work. The thing is with Spurs, and I don't like to speak about Spurs, but they do feel that they're better than what they really are. Like, fair enough, they've don't get me wrong, they've challenged a few years ago for the league.
Yeah.
But they're no different really to teams like, for instance, say Man United. Like Man United haven't won nothing recently in recent history. And Everton. I use Everton as a proper example. Everton are a big club, like Liverpool-based club, and at the end of the day, Everton should be thinking like that also. But Tottenham expect, literally, like they're deluded in what their expectations are. They expect to win the league. No one's winning the league other than the big four. Let's be honest. Three of the four are class.
Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. Honestly, it's probably those three. It's not even Manchester United at this point. It's those three because they have the money and they can buy the players. I think Tottenham. I think the supporters have created a poisonous atmosphere. I think Kane has done that. And then when you look at what we have at West Ham, John's right. Kane is their Payet, and we don't. To me, I give all the credit to David Moyes and, to Mark Noble and Declan Rice. Rice is our on-field captain, and Noble as the guy who, read what Jesse Lingard said about when he came to West Ham. And he was on a car with Mark Noble, and Lingard immediately gets on his phone, and Noble says, "No, we don't do our phones here. We're talking to each other. We're going to talk on this ride. We're going to communicate with each other." And Lingard said that changed everything for him, and I still think he wants to come back, but. He said that changed everything for him. And I do give Mark Noble a lot of credit for helping to create and preserve that culture, even if I'm glad I don't see him as much on the pitch anymore. Although 90 minutes against Man City, he was fine.
I also do feel, because it's Mark Noble's last season, we are seeing a bit of a extra 10% in every game for him. There's a lot of factors, really, if I'm honest, mate. When I look at it, I think Tottenham are worried about us. I really do.
Oh, I know they are. Everybody's worried about us. Everybody's worried about us.
I believe they're looking at us and thinking West Ham have massively improved, right? And I think a lot of it is ego with Spurs. They think, "God, dear, we've got to sort that out because West Ham can't be above us in the league. Like, it's an embarrassment." And the difference is when you've got a manager, and I do say it. I said it last week. I say it again. When Alex Ferguson said, "Go and get David Moyes out of Everton," Alex Ferguson won multiple trophies. Do you know what I mean? He knows a good player. He knows a good manager when he sees one. And I believe he see Moyes at Everton and thought, you know what, this geezer's, if you give him the time, he will build something special. And I do believe he's building something special at West Ham, 100%.
It was a poison chalice at Manchester United. Absolutely nobody could have followed out Alex Ferguson and continued his success. That was never going to happen. Nobody you don't want to be the legend. You don't want to replace the legend. You want to replace the guy who replaces the legend. That's how it works. I could go on and Lucas, you know this. I can go on about this in American sports as far as you want to go, with coaches who stepped in to replace legends and they failed because they couldn't possibly succeed. There was no way they could succeed, because often the legend leaves things the cupboard a little more bare than people realize. But Moyes, to me, we lucked into him because he was football kind of.
We hit the lottery twice.
We hit the lottery twice because the football community kind of said he's finished. He failed at Manchester United. He failed at Sociedad, wherever it was, Sunderland, which was a total mess of a club and still is.
But I do think Moyes has changed, though, Lee. I do think Moyes too. Yeah, I do too. I think because when you look at what was it? There was a game the other week. I can't remember where it was, but there's been games before where he would have set up negative against, and he hasn't. He set up positive to go out and he wants to win the game. Basically, he doesn't want right. And if we get the draw, then
draw anymore. Yeah, he doesn't do that. The Brighton game last year, I remember. I think it was. I don't know if it was home or away, but you remember that game where he said he had very negative, and everybody was very upset about it. And I was upset about it too. I thought it was a bad choice. He hasn't been doing that this season. What he did against Manchester City, absolute masterstroke of management to me. I mean, didn't take the bait and put out the regular starting 11. Went with the team that's been winning. He said, you know what, we're going to play our style. We're going to do what we do. We're going to play the counter. We're going to defend. We're going to defend well. We're going to put the guy we know is actually our best keeper in for this match. get it to penalties. That's what he did. It was perfect. It was. I mean, it was basically perfect.
He sets up. I don't know about anyone else, but he sets up defensively solid and goes, right, go and get a goal, and then let them try and break us down. And if they do break us down, we get another goal. And they play like Atletico Madrid, and I really do mean that.
The other thing that I love is that we don't freak out after we concede.
Yeah.
And this used to always be something that frustrated me about West Ham, frustrated me under Bilic, Pellegrini, Allardyce was the worst. If we conceded under Allardyce, it was all over. If we didn't keep a clean sheet, we weren't getting a result. Just like against Villa, they equalize. 4 minutes later, Rice comes down and scores. How many times over the last couple of seasons have we gone down 1-0? We've come back and won 2-1, or look at Leeds earlier this season when Antonio scored right at the end. I think Moyes and Declan Rice are the two guys who get the most credit for that.
Yeah.
Because Mark Noble, God bless him, for whatever reason, he couldn't do that when he was captain. But Declan Rice is just like, don't panic. We got this. And I think the fact that he's the best player on the pitch.
I feel like it's more of a so Mark is kind of like, he's kind of like, I don't know how to explain. He's like more of an anchor, but then Declan Rice is like the anchor and then the dynamite. Like he's able to hold it. He's able to hold it.
What it is, Lewis, he's the anchor, but Declan Rice is the anchor and the ship.
Well, that's actually true. You can back it up. Noble, as much as we've always loved him, was never a world-class player.
Yeah.
Right? He never won an England cap. Good player, very good player at times, never world-class. Declan Rice is world-class. He's clearly world-class. So 100%. When he's telling the other guys, pick it up, he can do his part. He can do his part.
He's one of those special young players that and it happens rarely in all sports. When you have a youngster like that can really uplift guys that are 4, 5, 6, 7 years older than you. That's incredibly special, and you don't see that a lot.
And do you know what? He's going to attract players. He's going to attract players to the club.
Yes. He absolutely is.
And
because the streets know he's a baller.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, and this is why. We talked about
people still don't know, but the streets know, and that's all that matters.
You know what, Lucas? I think they do, but they don't want to admit it. I think they hate.
I agree,
hate admitting that West Ham have a player like that. That he's still here.
They think it's impossible.
They think it's impossible. That he came through. I know he started at Chelsea, but that he basically came through our academy. He's made 100 and something appearances for us, and he's only 22 years old. That he's still here. I don't know how long he's going to be here, but he's still here. And I'll tell you something else. I'm going to tell you something else. We finished top 4, and I think he stays. I do.
I think he stays.
I think he stays.
I think he stays. Like what you just said there about
los dos. Let's do it both.
About Chelsea. What you said about Chelsea. What we've got to understand is Chelsea did chuck him out and said he wasn't good enough.
Absolutely, and I don't think he wants to go back because of that.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it's that. It's honestly, to me, and it came up. Who was it? Was it Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher talking about? He needs to go to a different club to improve, right? Where's he going to go to improve? Bielsa, I think I've said this before. Bielsa literally said every West Ham player is better this season than they were last season.
Right.
At West Ham, he's going to improve. That's what David Moyes does. He improves players how they are. Where are you going to go that's going to improve you, Declan Rice? Maybe under Pep at Man City. Certainly not at Man United. Ferdinand pushing.
Is he going to play at Man City, John, the way he does for West Ham?
I think he will.
90 minutes every
I think you find a place for him. Yeah, he's that good.
Well, he probably
he's that good, and he's that young that they can get 10 years out of him. I mean,
100%.
Yeah, where else are you going to go to improve? I don't know if you can improve at Chelsea. Are you going to improve there? They're not coaching players up.
I don't think he goes back to Chelsea. I don't think
that's the one club I don't worry about. Yeah,
I think I think one thing with Declan, I will say one thing. I think he's stubborn, and I think he's realised that they turned their back on me, and West Ham have literally took him under their wing and developed him into the player he is. I do agree. Man City is a good shout. Fernandinho is going to retire soon. What better replacement than Fernandinho than Declan Rice? Yeah. But I'll tell you something now. West Ham. It's a big move, and I think 150 million don't even get him out of West Ham. I don't think. I think he's that good.
To my liking.
Wow.
Yeah, he is that good. We've been saying that for ages, haven't we, Lee? Like, it's how much he's worth. But,
We've
I mean,
been
to
saying
me,
that
it's
he's
down. It's
worth-
either City or Liverpool, because anywhere else, I don't think he's improving. And I don't
Yep.
think he's going to challenge for the silverware that he wants to unless he's at City or Liverpool. It's one of them two.
See, the
I
thing
agree.
is, I just read that comment there from MH Hammers,
Yeah.
who says, "Don't fool yourself. If we get 100 million offer,
I worry
we
about
will."
it. I do worry about it. I do.
I personally think that if we got 150 million, I don't think that's enough. I don't think there's another player like Declan Rice out there. Like, if you was to sit there and go, right, can you go and get a defensive midfielder that does what Declan does? There is not many.
Did you see the stat today on Twitter? 900 minutes of game time, and he's gone dispossessed once. 900 minutes.
No, the guy is.
He's not even a DM. He's an all-rounder midfielder. I mean, you got Gary Neville arguing that the guy's still a fucking defender because the idiot won't back off of his opinion from 3 years ago.
Gary,
He's
I
still
don't listen to
starting
those
to back off of that. He's the closest thing to Paul Scholes that we've seen in 10 years, easily.
He's a box-to-box midfielder at this point. Look at that goal on Sunday. Ridiculous goal. I mean, and not only that, but every build-up to every goal we score virtually now, who does it start with? It starts with Declan Rice. Whether he provides the assist or whether he wins the ball and provides the first pass, it's always Declan Rice starting it, getting up the pitch. That goal on Sunday, both the Johnson goal and the Declan, the vision it takes to say to yourself, "I'm going for this," with a low, hard shot like that. That's not.
I can't get over that Johnson finish. That was absolutely world class.
They were both tremendous.
When you look at Deck, right, and what he brings to the team, I always said it, and I said it on West Ham Fan TV. I don't know when I was doing the West Ham Fan TV stuff last year. I turned around and said, with Declan Rice in our ranks, we can win something because he's that sort of driving force. Yeah. He's a versatile midfield player, if that's the best way of describing him, because he can. It's to say, for example, he went and played for Man City in the future, and Man City said, "Right, we want Declan Rice to sit in front of the midfield, in front of the defence. Sorry, that's your job. He'd do that, no problem." Or if he wants to roles reversal and go, right, we want him to go more advanced, he can do that like a Yaya Toure type player and just like stride forward. He's a quality player, and the problem that we're going to have is if someone come in and offered 150, 160 million and our board accept that, as long as the money is reinvested in the team, because it's one player. Right, don't get me wrong, I love Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is a world-class player. I don't ever want him to leave West Ham, but there's going to come a day when he's like, he's going to have to make a decision. Like, is he staying here or is he moving?
The only thing that worries me about Chelsea a little bit, James, is that Mount plays there, and that's his buddy, that's his best friend.
Yeah,
but I'm with you.
That's Chelsea's only hope, in my opinion.
That's Chelsea's only hope is that Mason Mount plays there. And
I think it depends what they do, Lee. I mean, I think them winning the Champions League last season was really bad for us and Declan Rice.
I do too.
If they can win stuff, then that's a huge draw. If they're just another also-ran, then we're an also-ran. You know what I mean? Yeah. As long as we're qualifying for Europe, then we're an also-ran in that regard.
But the only thing is, though, where does he get in Chelsea? Like, you got N'Golo Kante, you got Jorginho there, you got Sal.
I think that's a valid point. I think that's a valid point. I don't think he knows that he can play 90 minutes whenever he wants for us, basically.
That's also another big thing that people are not realizing that are like Big Six supporters. Like, Declan Rice is getting a guaranteed 90 minutes almost twice a week.
But he's the main man, though, isn't he?
Let's
be honest, he's the main man at West Ham. Let's be honest. If he goes to Chelsea, Man City, Man United, he won't be. He will be one of the main men, so to speak. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he is good enough. He is world class. He is good enough. But you're right, James. He'll be one of the main men, and I think that's the only pitch we have to him at this point is to say two things. One, we're on the up. All right, we're legitimate top 4 contenders,
and he knows
I really believe if we finish top 4, we keep him for another season. I think
so.
I think he might sign another contract. I think he might sign another contract if we finish.
I don't think he's going anywhere for about 2 years.
If we qualify again, I think you're right. the only place he's going, like I said before, the only place he's going is to the finished article to actually add the silverware to his resume. Because otherwise, why go to Man United? Why go to a rebuilding job? You've got the same thing at West Ham, except you're not recovering. You're just going upwards.
And
why go to Chelsea if they can't add to the amount of trophies that they have if they're just an also ran? That's what I'm saying. It's for me, it's either City or Liverpool until Chelsea breaks into that ranks.
And he knows if he wins at West Ham, he will be a legend beyond belief. I mean, Chelsea will have Frank Lampard and John Terry. Manchester United have 1,000 different famous players.
That's another huge thing. It all depends on what he wants his legacy to be, and
he can be. I mean, you could literally have a Declan Rice stand at the London Stadium. It is not crazy at all. You know,
if he wins something with West Ham,
more level.
If we win something with West Ham, he becomes a legend.
Yes.
Even in such a short space of time, he becomes an absolute legend of the club. And to me,
Charlie, and a legend in a way that he's not. You go somewhere else, and if you're a legend with Manchester United, then you've joined a long list of players, many of whom are still 100%. Alive. They're doing television. You know, if you're a legend at West Ham, there's like 3 guys.
Yeah.
There's more. There's Brooking and there's Billy Bonds, and they are in a lot of ways the Mount Rushmore. And I know there's been other great players. Don't get me wrong, other fantastic, but those are and he could be the 4th guy on Mount Rushmore. He really could, and I hope he sees it. And the other thing is,
this isn't the Baseball Hall of Fame. Not everyone's getting in.
Exactly. Fair enough. Who was it? Harold Baines got in, Lucas? Was it Harold Baines who got in? Like, basically just a guy who played for a long time, then he got in. Anyway, it's and tell me he's not having fun. Tell me Declan Rice, when he goes on Twitter and posts him dancing with Ben Johnson, tell me he's not having a good time. He's having a good time.
I actually think if Lingard signs, I don't think he goes anywhere for a couple of years. Well, why would you? Like you're building a good vibe at West Ham, and if let's put it this way, if he can stay for another 2-3 years, right, I do believe we win something. I don't know what.
James, I think. Listen, there's no reason. In all honesty, we could win a Carabao Cup this season. We could do it, and I know it's a 10-pot cup and all that, but it's not really. It's a trophy. It's silverware.
It's a trophy.
Manchester City have been happy with it for 4 years running. All right,
mate, I haven't seen a trophy in my lifetime. I'll take anything.
I was 1980. I was 6 years old, and I did not know West Ham existed, and I probably would have struggled to find England on a globe. I mean, so it'd be a first for me too. You know what I mean? It'd be a first for all of us here, I think. Maybe not Wally. Wally's
no, I was around in '75.
So okay, I was just saying, Wally's been. Well, you were living in England, weren't you?
I was living in England in '75. Yeah.
So there you go. Wally has lived it. He's lived, unlike the rest of us. He's lived it. Ken has lived it too. Ken has lived it too. I know Ken's an old dude. He's lived it too. I'm just John. He's not old, but he's old enough to remember. He saw Bobby Moore play, as a matter of fact. Ken told me about seeing Bobby Moore play, which is pretty amazing. Anyway, I now somebody way up with the comments, but I'll never find it again. Said something about how we're looking at Lingard, and it might have been
X on his podcast said that we're looking at Lingard, and then Adam Holzcheck, that Sparta Prague guy.
But okay. With all due respect to X, I mean, I don't really think of this as news, right? Don't we know this already? This isn't like. Don't we know? I think we know this. Don't we? That we're looking at
was more. I feel like it was more speculation, and then this is just a nice like.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Them two are nice, but where's the left back that we need?
Right.
That's more important.
That's how I feel too, because God forbid if something happens to Cresswell, who is the comeback player of the century, by the way, if something happens to Cresswell, we're in a lot of trouble because Masuaku is not a left back.
We've been so lucky. We've been so lucky this season that Cresswell's been able to play like every match.
That Charlie horse he had the other match, I thought his groin, I thought his hamstring gone.
Yep.
I'll tell you something else, though, Wally. And I've seen a few people say this here and there on social media. We have to have a better backroom staff and training staff than we had under previous managers, because we have not had the injury crisis that we had. You can go back 15 years. You can go back to Kerbishley, Pardew, The guys like Kieran Dyer played like 7 games for us. I know Dean Ashton's thing was kind of a tragedy, but I don't know.
Still not over that.
Poor Jack Collison's career ended early.
What
there were other guys who were out for weeks and months.
What it was, Lee,
Yeah.
we signed a medical doctor or physio or something from West Bromwich Albion last year.
Yes, yeah.
And it was kept under quiet. It was kept under wraps, basically, like that we get this geezer in from West Brom. And let's be honest, our record has been good. I see saying the other day on social media, and telling us he's changed his diet, and now his hamstrings feel stronger than ever.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I mean?
And nothing's wrong with a little bit of luck.
That's what got me to thinking about the whole thing with the training staff, because Antonio came out and he said, I used to eat what I wanted to eat. I didn't really, he said, now I'm paying attention to my diet, paying attention to my training. He says my hamstrings feel better than ever. And you can tell the guy runs and runs. Now he's rested a little bit here recently, but he runs and runs and runs. He plays 90 minutes. He doesn't pull up. He doesn't look as tired as he used to. I think somebody is sitting down with these guys and saying, hey, you're professional footballers. Train like it, eat like it, behave.
He's such an athletic freak. I feel like all these times that he's been injured, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he kept it up for another 2-3 seasons.
Well, we're looking at signing him again, Lucas.
Hopefully,
we're looking at signing him again, and he's 31, but I think he's got another couple of seasons in him.
But what will be the big test for me is Christmas period. We all know that Christmas is you've got game after game after game. If Antonio can keep fit in that, and we can just get to January, and if we can get a Belotti or Elzek or whatever his name is in, then I'll tell you what, I'm buzzing, mate. I really am. I'm so over the moon with the boys. I've never seen us this good ever in my life.
I'm trying not to, James. Every game I come up and I think to myself, I still have that mentality of get to 43 points because we went down on 42.
20 points to go, baby.
Right, 20. Well,
20 more.
Remember,
who's the negative one there out of all you lot?
Only West Ham has ever gone down on 42.
West Ham Clips does a great job of reminding me.
West Ham Clips every week, and you got to watch West Ham Clips. If you don't watch them, you really have to do that. West Ham Clips every 42 points in 2003, as you all know. Joe Cole was on that team. I think Carrick was on that team. Don't know if Rio was. I think Rio was gone by then. But
Rio was gone. Yeah,
Rio was gone by then. But anyway, a lot of we lost Defoe. I think Jermaine Defoe was on the team. Lost a lot of players from that. So 43 points every season. I say to myself, when we're at 43 points, we're going. But I mean, there's no reason not to think. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason. Wrong one. There's no reason not to think. I mean, why not? Why not? Every time I think to myself, okay, the most West Ham thing possible is going to happen. Even if it does happen, like against Manchester United, we come out and we win after that. We turn it around. We bounce back. That's what I've never seen this club do before.
Yeah.
And I
go ahead, Wally.
For
me, it was when we beat Dinamo Zagreb away. That was going to be our hardest Europa League match.
Yes,
and we won it pretty easily,
especially with that environment.
Yeah,
and it was easy. It was easy.
I've been totally relaxed. I was relaxed before the Man City match. I've been totally relaxed after that match because I feel like every game we can go in, we're going to do fine. So
going into Villa, for some reason, I said to myself, "We're going to win this. I think we're going to win this. I don't." Because we should. We should.
It feels really nice that we're going into a match, and I know that we're going to score at least one goal.
That too. And I'll tell you, it's something I said.
Wally, how shit would Friday Night Lights be with this much optimism?
I know it would be.
Well, it's not optimism; it's reality. I mean, optimism is, yes, I'm optimistic, but also I'm looking at. It's data driven, right? It's data driven, as everybody likes to say, and
but there's no pressure on us, though, Lee, is there? Really?
No.
When you look at us,
pressure. Yep.
And the thing is, when we're playing against teams look at us and think, "Oh, like West Ham shouldn't be there," so to speak. Right? Yes. But we are there.
They hate us. They hate us, and they're coming after us, James.
Yeah.
They're stomping on Suchek. They're giving Fornells a forearm. They're doing it because they can't stand.
I used to call us the meme team, but now we're like memeing the other way. Like when we beat you, it's a whole new meme.
Yep.
Right.
I love it.
It's they can't handle it. It drives them insane to see us.
It's an absolute madness, and I love it.
Yeah, it just drives them batty.
You know what has been a bonus too, Lee, over here, and James, you wouldn't have seen it, but the coverage we have over here is Tim Howard. They have on the like post-match analysis and everything, and hearing some of his insights into working under David Moyes and why these players like will run through brick walls for the manager. What did he say this weekend? He had something about he knows when to talk to you, he knows when to ignore you. To make the players, just, oh God, that's not right. What have I done wrong? Like he's a very good man manager. You never really hear that side about Moyes so much, but
and he was saying how it was big for him personally, because for David Moyes, when he consistently plays you 90 minutes, and I mean Tim Howard had 400 odd appearances for Everton, mostly under Moyes.
This reminds me though of that Everton team though. I don't know about you.
It does. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
We look like that Everton team. If you ever go back and go on Google, YouTube or whatever and watch the Everton team of old, like with Arteta, Pienaar and Cahill, etc. When Moyes was in charge, this is how we look. Like we look like the real deal. Like, and listen, I've as everyone knows, like you can watch West Ham until you're blue in the face and they drive you mental, but for some reason, this team just seems like I'm seeing progression fast all of a sudden. Whereas before,
and even
the most dangerous drug in football is what I call
them. That's a huge piece right there. The novelist put up there, Lee. That was a big point of what Howard was saying. Was not only is he comfortable with a small squad, he wants a small squad. He wants just a few, enough people to buy in. You get no bad cooks in the kitchen.
Exactly.
And every single person will play brave because they're not worried about making a mistake when you're going to get picked week after week after week.
You get your chance to play. You're going to, if you're Arthur Masuaku, if you're Yarmolenko, you're going to play in the cup. You're going to play in the Europa
awesome.
League. You're right. Yarmolenko was very good against Manchester City. We threw out Arthur Masuaku and Andre and Yarmolenko. And I mean,
Masuaku was a baller that day. He was the only one progressing the ball up the pitch.
We threw Mark Noble
but he was a left winger.
We threw Mark Noble out against Manchester City for 90 minutes of Mark Noble against Manchester City, and we did not lose that game.
Absolutely.
And they had 10 internationals and an under-21 international.
Yeah, but I think
they had Jesus, they had everybody, and then they started putting Foden on, and they put Grealish on, and they still couldn't score. And we had our B team went out there and held them, and they beat them on penalties. That's insane.
I think when you look at our backroom staff, though, not just Moyes. I know like Moyes will get the main applaudits because he's the manager, he runs the show.
Yeah.
But Kevin Noland, Nevin, Stuart Pearce, Nevin. I think all of them deserve untold amount of credit, especially Noland. I think Noland is that ex-player, ex-West Ham player. He has a laugh with the lads, but he also knows how to sort of go from banter to it's time to work sort of thing. And
I was going to say earlier, if you get him and Mark Noble together next season, oh my gosh, that coaching staff is going to be something else.
Noble hangs around in some capacity, obviously. I mean, it
could be brilliant.
He should. Clearly, he has a positive influence on the players. I just love the fact that he gave us 90 and then scored the first penalty. I mean, listen, if you'd if you'd said to me at the beginning of the season, Mark Noble's going to play that Manchester City, I don't care what competition you're talking about, that starting 11, and we're going to put out Noble, Yarmolenko, Masuaku, Dawson, and we're going to hold them. We're going to hold them, and we're going to beat them on pins. I just said, get out of here. That's a 5-0 thrash.
But you don't believe though, Lee. I told you last week. I told people in the chat like Kieran and Novelist and everyone else. I said, listen, believe in this squad, mate. And
you and Nolan called it.
I was straight on Twitter. I was straight on tagging you and Lucas in it and John.
No, listen. I mean, I'm. It's hard to believe because all of us have been through the pain of getting our hopes up and having it dashed. We've all lived through that as West Ham fans. We have not lived through a lot of success. We've lived through a lot more pain than I don't know, pleasure. I can't think of a better word. We've lived through more heartache than joy. And it's very hard to get out of that mentality and say, you know what, this really, 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 really might be a different West Ham team. but I think it is. I think it is. We're going to find out, though, aren't we? We're going to, Thursday. I do feel pretty. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to say I'm confident about Thursday. All right. I feel as though we've played all these three teams once. I know we have to go to Belgium. We handled everybody relatively easily. As Wally said, we could actually clinch the whole thing on Thursday, which would be great because then you throw Harrison, Ashby, and Okaflex out in the next. Just let them play against European competition. Sunday is a measuring stick game. Sunday is a statement game. And I'll tell you, I'm not counting this out, is all I'm saying. I don't fear anybody. Don't fear anybody.
Like James says, there's no pressure on us Sunday.
Exactly.
And Liverpool has to be like worried, like, oh shit, West Ham's doing really well. So
hang on.
Our fans are gushing over this team. All right. Yeah. We are all sitting here.
Is it home or away?
It's home. It's home. It's home. And it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be bonkers in that place. And I'm telling you, Stratford may not be Upton Park or the Bull Inn, and I know that it's not. But I tell you, you put 60,000 people in there, you put 60 grand in there, it can get noisy. It's starting to get noisy. Like stuff is happening in that ground. It's going to be bonkers. And I don't know. Would you guys have any thoughts on, again, I don't want to skip over Thursday, but to be honest, I think we're putting out a B team. I think I feel good about winning that match. Sunday to me is colossal. And
Sunday's massively.
We win, we go to second.
I do not. And here's the insane thing. You ready for this? You guys know this already, but I'm going to say this out loud. We could lose on Sunday, and barring a big shift in goal differential, we'd still be fourth, even if we lost, unless Manchester United scored 12 and we got shellacked. Barring like a 5-goal shift, we could lose on Sunday and still be fourth. But I'll tell you something. I don't think we're going to lose. I'm not saying we're going to win. I don't think we lose. I just
don't think there's no pressure on this league. Like,
that's what exactly.
Let's be honest, and it's the best way to be because what it is, we're not expected to do that. If we lose on Sunday, then people will look at it and go, you know what, we've lost. Yeah, it's Liverpool. They're a bloody good side.
On to the next one.
Right, on to the next one. Yeah.
On to the next one.
If we win on the other hand, though, right. I'll tell you something now. We are flying, and if we do beat Liverpool, which I think is going to be very, very difficult, I think all four of our top our attackers have to be giving 8 out of 10 performances to win this game.
This is the thing that obviously everyone here knows their football, and the one thing that's making me very, I wouldn't say confident, but obviously not worried about Sunday. The game is won and lost in the midfield, and I wouldn't say by loads. We have the better midfield for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I don't rate Jordan Henderson that highly. He's not a bad player, but when you compare their midfield to ours, I think our midfield's better. And
I think we need another body in there, though, Lucas. I think we need another body in there against Liverpool. So if we set up 4-2-3-1 against them, I think we're asking for.
And their defense has not been lighting the world afire. Like Van Dijk, obviously he's world class, but he hasn't been playing that great.
Konate, I think Ben Johnson. Will push
5 at the back. Do you think we're going to have to fall and Johnson in the side, James?
Nah, I think Johnson will play and he will push Robertson back. He will make sure that Robertson don't get forward. I think last season, let's be honest, we showed too much respect to Liverpool. Right?
Yes,
Liverpool rolled up. Yeah, and we was like, you know what, Liverpool are this great team, and we're going to sit there and go, you know what, let's all give them a round of applause. But I'm not being funny. I don't think that happens on Sunday. I think we turn up on Sunday, and I think we will really give it a good go. Do I think we'll win? I'm going to say a draw.
Yeah,
I just don't. I hope we win.
I'm kind of with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think a draw is there for us.
Just besides their attack, they haven't shown me like something to be scared of.
They've got Mo Salah, mate.
Well, let me ask you this:
I'm scared of Mo Salah, but like just everything else, it's like we're not far off.
Liverpool 100%, Charlie. Sorry, Liverpool 100% on this one.
Yep.
Absolutely, all day, all the way. We're honestly, if we lose to Genk, we can probably still win that group. but
We should win the group. We should win. We should play for a draw.
Yeah.
There's no way one of those other three teams is going to finish perfect
but Liverpool
for the rest of their matches. I mean, 10 points wins the group easy. And
I
also,
would. Right now, and we talked about this last week too. I might, and it's terrible to say because I really desperately want us to win a trophy, but I might choose top 4 over anything else at this point because I think it keeps us. I think we keep that.
I think top 4's early. I really do. I said it last week, and
It's going to be a rock fight.
I can't stress it enough. You take Manchester United out of there, who's with Ollie. While Ollie's in charge, they're going to be up and down. Right, 1 minute they're good, 1 minute they're awful. Right. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal are a danger for me. They've got no European football. Tottenham are crap. Leicester are inconsistent. And then after that, if you take Leicester, Arsenal, Man United, us, there's not a lot else who's going to come flying through like Brighton. Not for me. I think Brighton are just...
I don't think they'll stay where they are. No, I think they're having a great season.
Maybe Everton when Calvert-Lewin comes back.
But
in the meantime, they're going to struggle. They struggle today.
I don't see
the biggest difference between this season and last is that there's only one spot up for grabs, I think, and that's spot number 4. I mean, last season, 3rd or 4th were really kind of up there. We could have grabbed either one of those, to be honest. I mean, we just kind of faded away a little bit at the end. This season, it looks like there's only really one. I'd take the win against Liverpool. I mean, looking at that match for me, it's going to come down to individual brilliance. I think it's either a moment from Antonio or Bowen, or on their end it's Firmino or Salah. Like you said, Lucas, I think the midfield. I'm pretty confident in our midfield. I think Declan Rice. I think he kept Jordan Henderson out of the England squad. It wasn't that Henderson was actually injured and recovering and needed time. I think Rice is the better player. And it's just going to come down to what we do with their front three. I think Bonner's done pretty well against Salah the last few times that he's played against him. He seemed to match up quite well against him. I'm not worried about anything in the air coming over from Robertson's left boot. I'm not that worried about it unless it's one-on-one with Cresswell at the back post. But we've got a chance here. I feel like we could really give him a game. And this season, like you said, we shouldn't pay him as much respect as we did last season. We should get at him a little bit.
We had a chance to beat them last season. We probably should have beaten them last season, at least gotten a draw with them last season. But as you said, we backed off. We didn't challenge. We gave them a lot of space. We were scared. We played scared.
And this will be the first time I think all season we'll really see Declan Rice. I think he's going to cement himself into the defensive side of the ball, because if he, one bad forward run, we're done.
I think he does both, Lucas. Honestly, this is a statement game for Declan Rice. I think he comes out. Yeah. This is a coming out party, and he's going to show that he's the best midfielder.
I've always been a fan of. I'd rather lose 5-2 than 5-0.
No, they have not lost at all.
I'd rather not lose at all, Lucas.
Yeah.
I'd rather get blown out trying than just sit back.
They have not lost all season. They have not lost a match to anybody in any competition all season.
And listen to me, Christ! Now I feel stupid being so confident.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, wait a minute. Listen. Manchester City had not lost a Carabao Cup match in 5 years until last week. All right. Liverpool have not lost all season, but they had a draw with Brentford. I know we lost to Brentford. They had a draw with Brentford.
Don't forget though,
they drew with Brighton on Saturday.
They've got a game in the week. They've got a game in the week against Atletico Madrid. I think
they play Tuesday or Wednesday.
It's a big game for them. Yeah, it's a big. And our game is not like that. We're not going to put out a full starting 11.
Exactly. So when you look at when you weigh it up, they're going to go out full strength against Atletico. We're going out probably not even our strength.
They play Wednesday.
And
they were up 2-0 against Brighton after 24 minutes, and that match finished 2-2 at Anfield. They are, it will be extremely difficult. Don't get me wrong, but they're vulnerable. Is all I'm saying. They're vulnerable. They're not unbeatable. They're certainly vulnerable to a draw or a result that would not be a bad result for us. I mean, again. We have lost 2 games this year, and think about how we lost. We lost that Manchester United game, 1 kick away from a home draw, which is not a great result, but it's fine. and Brentford, a couple of errors, and we lose in injury time. That's it. That's it. That's it. We're minutes away from being an unbeaten team. We're minutes
and we
away
should
from
be,
being
Lee.
unbeaten, and
We should be really.
We
Yeah.
absolutely should never have lost to Manchester United. We earned the penalty to get the draw. First of all, we give up the goal in injury time is bad enough. We earned the penalty to get the draw, missed the penalty, but that was, for all intents and purposes, it should have been a draw. Brentford, same way. We should be unbeaten. We're not. We have not had a game where we've gone out and just looked dreadful and just been shellacked. It hasn't been like that. It hasn't been like that. We beat Manchester United in the cup. We beat Manchester City. Hundreds of millions of pounds of players on the pitch for them. All right. Internationals on the pitch for them all over the place. We beat them both.
And let's be honest here.
It's possible. It's possible.
Let's be honest here. We can name one bad game, and that's probably the Brentford one.
That's the Brentford game. And Palace, disappointed me. But we still got a draw, but it wasn't a great. It was, although they just went out and beat Man City on the weekend 2-0. They went to whatever it's called now, Etihad or whatever it is, and beat Man City. Can't remember the name of the stadium now. It's not Main Road anymore. Wherever it is. Anyway, so. I'm not trying to be overconfident. All I'm saying is, years past, I would have looked at a game like this. Well, I would have looked at a game like this in seasons past, and I'd have said, keep the goal differential down. You know what I mean? No, seriously, because we'd have been in a relegation battle. Right. I'd have been saying, let's lose 2-0. Maybe we manage to score at the end. We lose 2-1. Limit the damage. Would have been my thought, is limit the damage. Now I'm like, oh, we got to go for it. But let me ask you this: how do you guys line up? Do you go 5 at the back? Do you put Masuaku in to help Cresswell out a little bit? Got to sacrifice somebody up front if you do that.
4-3-3 for me. Obviously, Fabianski in goal. I think everyone would agree there that he's our Premier League goalkeeper. I think the back four sort of picks itself.
It'll be Fabianski, yeah.
Yeah, I think Ben Johnson, right back, Zuma, Abona, Cresswell, Soucek and Rice. And I don't know why, but I think Fornells might have to drift in and play like as a sort of extra midfielder man out of possession.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And go like with Bowen, Benram and Antonio up front, which I think we look better. When Fornells is sort of in that midfield, he's like that engine room. I feel we look better. I think 4-2-3-1 against Liverpool. I think we get overrun in midfield. I think they will set up in a way with the three midfielders like Henderson, Fabinho, and whoever else is going to go in there with Curtis Jones or something like that. But yeah, I think 4-3-3, mate. I think match up with them and put it on them. And I believe it's a big game for Ben Rama. It's a big game for Ben Rama for me. I think he needs to start doing something.
But he's been okay, but he hasn't been.
He's been okay, but he's only been okay though, Lee, hasn't he?
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Yes. Do you know what I mean? So I think 4-3-3 myself, and I think that'd be the team.
I mean, I do think, as much as I love Cresswell, I think he's going to need some help just with pace,
Yeah.
And Fornells could bring that on that side. Or, you could put Arthur out there, although he's really not a defender at all. So I don't know. But I don't know. What do you guys, Wally or John or Lucas, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think I agree with James. It'll be the same. Moyes is loyal, and there's no reason to change up who he picks. So I think it'll be the same. The only thing it might be different is Soufal might be back in, but if Soufal plays on Thursday, then I think it'll be Johnson's on.
Do you think it's right though to sort of take Ben Johnson out, considering I think he's been arguably one of our best players in the last 4 games?
I think they're gonna personally. I think Soufal will play against Genk and Johnson will play against Liverpool. I think that's what Wally was saying, and I agree. Yeah. I think because Moyes seems very happy with Johnson, and I don't think he's disloyal to Soufal. I think he just sees that Johnson's played really well. And you could make the argument that Johnson is maybe a little bit better defender. He's not as good going forward, but he's a little faster maybe than Soufal. I love Soufal. I've got his shirt from last season. I love him, but I can see the advantage of Ben Johnson.
I think they're very similar. Just Johnson has I wouldn't say a lot more pace, but he's definitely faster.
I think what it is with Kufel is his awareness is a lot better than Johnson. I think Johnson's defensive awareness is a bit 50-50.
And that just comes with being 28 years old compared to a 21
Yeah.
year old.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I agree
what it
with
is.
that, but how much? But I mean, you have to ask yourself the question. I think you have to ask yourself the question. There's defensive awareness, but then there's just pure pace, and I think Johnson's got more pure pace. I think he's faster. Fall, the only time he's ever looked vulnerable to me is against really pacey forwards like Marcus Rashford
100%.
gave him fits last season against not so much this, but last season he had a really tough time with him. So I think you have to balance. You have Fall, who's a better natural defender, but you have Johnson, who's got more athleticism. And I can kind of see us going with athleticism on Sunday, whereas maybe you see Fall come in on Thursday and just scare the crap out of everybody and get the job done. Get those crazy eyes.
I would just ride the hot hand personally.
Well, that's what Moyes likes to do, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't.
Johnson's done nothing wrong to lose his place. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think they're both good in their own ways. Soufal offers more going forward, although apparently Johnson's more of a goal threat. Soufal looks like he never wants to shoot at all. He always wants to pass the ball.
I don't think he does.
I think Soufal's got a better cross on him than Johnson at this point, but Johnson's also learning his trade, and he's going to take another 10, 12, 15 games for him to feel comfortable doing what he should be doing, that he probably was doing at a level down.
Yeah.
For right now, he hasn't lost his place. He's done nothing to lose his place. He just scored a goal.
Would you put him out there against Liverpool?
I'd put him out there for both opponents. Probably.
For Johnson, you mean?
Yeah, I'd probably put him out for both. I think Moyes won't, because I think, at the same time, you have to keep Soufal ready to come in. So he probably will get the start against Genk and, keep him match fit, get that match sharpness up. Because how did he lose his place? He got an injury?
Yeah.
Matic kicked him in the balls.
Yeah, so you work him back. You give him Genk and then give Johnson the Liverpool.
I think Soufal has to earn his place, though. I don't think he can just walk into the... I don't think he can just walk into the team and go, "I'm Vladimir Soufal." Don't get me wrong, I love Soufal. I think
who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a great player, but I don't think he. I think Ben Johnson. Let's be honest, he's played 4 games in a row now, 5 games in a row.
I think so.
Since the injury, and he's been absolutely phenomenal. In every game,
really.
Really.
Conceded once, and it wasn't his fault.
Well, if Moyes wanted to get Soufal back in the starting lineup, now would be the time to do it, because he could give Johnson the Genk game and he could say, "Listen, fella, we're going to rest you. You played a lot of games in a row."
Yeah.
So if he wanted to let him down, now's the time to let him down. He'll manage that. I got no.
But don't you feel though, John, if he does that, and say for example if we lose the game, do you reckon there'll be a lot of criticism there to say, well, why are you taking Johnson out when we haven't lost a game when he's played?
I got to be honest with you. I really, in terms of criticism, I don't think it's that big of a factor right now, because we're all so happy with where we are. Everybody has so much faith in David Moyes. I think unless we go on a real, tear of multiple games in a row, not winning or not getting results, I think most West Ham fans right now, as we were talking about before, are willing to say, you know what, do what you think is right. Do what you think.
But you don't ever change a winning team, though, Lee. That's the old saying.
No, I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change. I would not take Johnson out, James. I wouldn't.
Nah.
I would play Soufal on Thursday, Johnson on Sunday. That's what I would do. I think that's what most everybody here would do.
Mm-hmm.
We know basically. The only other thing I worry about sometimes, and I had this thought before the Villa match, and then I thought, nah. Everybody knows our starting 11, basically. Really, in the Premier League, it's like I love how these guys on Twitter, they come out as if they're experts, and they put the little graphics together and they say, like, here's my predicted starting 11 for Sunday, and I'm like, it's everybody's predicted starting 11, because we all know who it is, other than maybe Johnson or Soufal. Everybody knows who plays for us every week. It's not a secret, in the Premier League anyway. So can we do that forever? I don't know.
If it wasn't Liverpool, Man City coming up in the league, right, you'd probably argue that Johnson would prefer to play the European football, because what kid gets to play in Europe at that age?
Yeah.
For West Ham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily being dropped to go and play in the Europa. I mean, it's still a huge game.
Well, that's what Charlie said, and I think here on this comment, and I think he's right. I mean, you're not being dropped; you're still playing. You're playing in Europe. You're playing in a league you have to earn your way into. You know,
If it wasn't Liverpool, I'd argue that would be the bigger game than against almost any other Premier League club outside the top six. You know, I'd rather play against Genk than I would against Brighton.
Yeah, but the way I look at this is you're playing one of the biggest teams in Premier League, like Liverpool.
Of course.
I think Ben Johnson would want to. I think Ben Johnson would want to play that game. Do you know what I mean? I think what it is, I think Flad, for how good he is, and don't get me wrong, he's been great. I just think he's been caught in the right awkward situation here, where Ben Johnson's come in, tore it up, conceded one goal, we've won every game when he's played. And I think it's a big decision because he could have changed it on Sunday. Let's be honest here. Cafell could have come in on Sunday, and I was glad
Moyes on as a substitute, but he didn't play. But
I was glad that Moyes didn't do that because I think as soon as you go and do that, and just from say a goal goes down the right hand side because of Cafell, people will say, "Well, why are you changing it?" They will do, Lee. They will question it because that's what people do.
Because when we lose, people freak out. They freak out.
You know what I'm most surprised about is Wally hasn't stepped in here and said neither of them are playing. Ryan Fredericks. You got to keep him fit.
What's going on? You got your shirt there right behind you. What about?
Yeah, I may have to give up on that. I'm kind of disappointed. Like just when Soufal goes out injured, my man can step up, but he's injured as well. So. I'm a little frustrated.
I mean, listen, he's not a bad player going forward. I mean, it's just right now, at right back, we're we're
got the luxury of two. Yeah, Johnson, I got to admit, has been doing great. Soufal has been doing well as well. So,
for the moment, we're stocked. Now that and of course, we don't know what's going to happen with injuries and that sort of thing. But it's going to be hard for Fredericks to break in if those guys are healthy. I agree.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah. I mean. But as you said, as James was talking about earlier, I do not sense, and I think Moyes has stopped a lot of the leaks coming out of the club, which is good. But the other thing is, I don't sense a lot of egos or resentment among these guys. I feel as though we're still competing on four fronts. Everybody's going to get minutes. I don't sense that there's a lot of anger or it just seems like a good cohesive group right now. Like Ryan Fredericks he'll get in at some point when he's healthy.
Yeah. Fredericks might even play Thursday.
That's what I'm saying.
He could play Thursday.
And I guarantee you, if we go through in the group, that he's going to play at least a couple of European games after that, right? I mean, he's going to, because they'll be dead rubber or whatever they're called. So.
Oh yeah. Well,
so he's going to get his time, is what I mean.
Right.
He's going to get a run out in any case.
Yeah.
So I don't feel as though. Yeah. I mean, listen, not a lack of pressure is huge. I mean, right now we're just sailing, and hopefully that'll continue. But as we've talked about, Liverpool, Tottenham, Manchester City, Manchester United, those fans, they expect to win every week. They expect trophies. I don't expect any of that stuff.
I know pressure's on Liverpool on Sunday. Yep.
I mean, would I really? No, I don't think any of us would. I think that's what we're saying. I think most of us would go with Johnson on Sunday.
I think Johnson's been top class, though, Lee. I think he's been one of our.
I do too. I think he's been excellent. Yeah.
I think he's been. If he was to go through every game from the Everton game, Tottenham game, Villa game. He's been getting in my ratings that I've been doing on my channel. I've been giving him 9 out of 10s, and I don't give 9 out of 10s for nothing. He deserves it.
You're not alone, by the way, because a lot of these statistical analysis type websites have done the same thing. They've given him like almost perfect ratings. That goal on Sunday yesterday. I mean, that was fantastic.
The Cockney Cafu.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, everything about it, just the balls to take it, first of all, as a young player like that, and then just to nail it the way he did, that's a very professional goal. Do you know what I mean? It's not everybody's going to be able to do that, and he did it. So, All right, we're coming up on 2 hours here in about 10 minutes or so. So I guess we should. It's felt like such a short show this week because I've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I've had fun. It's been fun, and I don't know. I hope this continues because I'm just loving it right now. Anyway, we should probably get to some predictions. Let's start with Genk. With again, it sounds like a name you'd call somebody in middle school. You're a Genk. You're just a Genk. Anyway, I don't know. It's probably anyway. Let's start with Genk. What do you guys think of Genk on Thursday? You think we get this done? You got a prediction? I mean, I think we pretty much know who's going to play. So if you want to talk about who you see playing, that's fine. But if you have a score prediction, that's more what I'm thinking about.
I'm going to be a downer, and I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
You are a downer, Lucas.
So we qualify top. There's no downer in that for me.
I was going to say it's probably fine. Even if we draw 1-1, that's probably is a result.
Actually, I'll go 2-2.
It gets us through. Yeah, it probably gets us through. What do you think, James?
I think we will just about get it done. I'm going to say 2-0. I think we like that 2-0 scoreline in the Europa League. I think we'll score early, like we did against Rapid, and then we'll see it out towards the end of the game and nick another one.
Arrête, Charlie, arrête. Fais pas ça. Don't do that. All right, go ahead.
But I can see us winning it and topping the group and getting out of there quite comfortably.
I think that's what Moyes wants. I think he just wants to wrap this thing up. Juan Antonio, what do you think?
Cast your minds back to 2 weeks ago, and remember just how.
I love your poetic openings to these things. By the way, you always have to have like a preamble. Anyway, go ahead. No, it's great. I love it.
See, because it's the juxtaposition of how soon it was to how that we witnessed that match and where we are today. So cast your minds back to 2 weeks ago, where we watched Issa Diop fly through the air. What did we score? 2 set-piece goals on that one?
Wow, yeah, that's true?
That's all we need. That's all we need. We need a handful of corners. We need maybe a couple of free kicks. One of them's going in. Keep it tight. Don't kill yourselves. Play the A-/B+ team. Come away with a 1-0 win. Just keep it tight at the back. They did offer some problems. I'll say that. They had the ball in the net, didn't they, Genk? So you got to take them seriously. But going back
they did have the ball in the net. Yeah, they were the best of the 3 teams we've played so far. I think they were better than Zagreb.
Ito was a decent player.
Yeah, no. I thought they were better than Dinamo. I didn't think they were bad at all, but we handled them.
One of their players is the son of a Spurs player, though, so we do need to batter him.
Well, he'll get better where he goes. So you like us to win, John? You like a win?
I think we can squeak it either 1-0, 2-1. I don't know if we're not going to keep these teams out forever, but we should be able to do enough, even with the reserves. I think get Lanzini in there, hold the ball, control the pace of the game, away from home. Set piece wins the day. Craig Dawson flying like a friggin' salmon through the air, sticking his head through everything that's in his way.
I'll tell you what, though, Vernon is. I did not doubt him, but he is quite right about this. They did beat a club called Winkel Sport. Winkel is the Dutch word for a store. So you go to the Winkel, you go to the store. They beat Winkel Sport on. I'm not making this up on the 27th last week. And the Belgian Cup. That was a cup. I don't know where Winkel Sport where they play in the Belgian league. I have no idea what their level is. It's probably, I'm guessing, not super duper high. Anyway, they beat Winkel Sport 6-0, but then they beat good lord, Zulte Waregem, let's say. Let's just go ahead and say that's how you pronounce it. They beat them 6-2 in the Belgian league. So, they're scoring. Lee, they're not.
You ain't played anybody until you play FC Sluts, Lee. So.
FK Sluts, even better.
I'm sorry, FK Sluts.
That was their moment. Let me tell you, when the pandemic shut down all of football except for Belarus, where apparently, oh man, this is doing this again. I don't like this. All right, when the pandemic shut down all of football except for Belarus, where it didn't exist, that was the greatest moment in the history of Belarusian football. Basically, was that they were the only league in the world playing, and everybody cheered for the Sluts, and I don't think they had a very good season.
That and Korean baseball.
Korean
Oh, how the
baseball.
sluts! Oh, how
Yes,
the
the
sluts!
sluts, and the Korean baseball. Everybody, that was like it'll never be that good for them again. Hopefully they didn't all die of COVID in Belarus. I don't know. Anyway, Wally, what do you think is going to happen on Thursday?
I think Ariola is not going to let another goal in, so it's going to be 2-0 to us. Another clean sheet.
Genk have been scoring, as Vernon said, and we've looked it up, and they beat Zolta, whatever, and they beat the store team. Okay, Winkler, third division. Good Lord, third division in Belgium is very low. All right, I can tell you, third division in France is almost amateur level. It's really low, and Belgium is an even smaller league. So, however, they did win. Yes, well, that's so I've heard. They did win in League. I still think we win this game. Maybe we concede, but I think we win this game 2-1. I do. I think we win. I think we win. We wrap it up. We're out of there. And when we play Dynamo and Rapid again, we're putting Ashby and Okaflex, and all those guys out there. Could be wrong, but that's how I feel. All right, Sunday. Only Lucas. Well, Ollie would get that. The Chief Internationals. Yeah, exactly.
Sunday.
What do you think is going to happen? What happens, Lucas? What do you think on Sunday?
So, like I said earlier, I think this game will be won and lost in the midfield, just like 90% of other games. I think we have the better midfield. James did say this earlier. It's not normal to really play a two midfield partnership when you're going up against a team that plays three. So I would expect to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we came out in our traditional 4-2-3-1, and then like after 10, 15 minutes we make the adjustment to a 4-3-3. But I am confident, and I really do think we can draw this 1-1, 2-2. I really think. I don't know. I'm just not that high on Liverpool, but of course they have the best player in the world right now. No one's stopping Mo Salah.
I'm sorry.
Craig Dawson.
When did Declan Rice sign for Liverpool, Lucas? I must have missed that. They're the best player. No, I know what you're saying. No, I get it. I get it. They do.
The only person stopping Salah might be Dawson, but I think
with a boot to the head, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm really confident. I think we could definitely. I'm going to predict 1-1, but I definitely could see a shit housing at 2-1. I really could.
Yeah, it's reasonable to think that way. James,
Liverpool is not really like that impressed me that much besides Mo Salah. Like I don't rate their midfield. Virgil van Dijk's obviously class, but he hasn't been that great this season. Their new center back signing hasn't been that great. And both their left backs don't defend. They're high up the pitch like 80% of the time. So if we're gonna shithouse a 2-1, it's gonna be on a 86-minute counterattack. Antonio goal.
Man, I would.
I'm gonna go 1-1, but I think we can pull it off.
I would love that so much. I can't even think about it. There's a lot of Liverpool fans here in Boston, as you guys know, because of the Red Sox ownership. So I really, really would love to get a result here. James, what do you think?
It's going to be tough, but I believe that we can do something against Liverpool. The 4-2-3-1 is an issue because obviously I don't want us to get overrun in midfield, but I think out of possession we will slot into a 4-3-3 system. 4-2-3-1 when we're attacking, 4-3-3 when we're defending. I believe we can get something, mate. I really do. Do I think we can win? Possibly, but I think the draw's the better punt. If I was having a bet, I think the draw's there. I think Liverpool are a good side, but we've also got to understand we're a good side at the minute. I will say one thing. I think we've got pace at the back with Zuma there, so that's good. last year when we played, we had Dawson and Bonner there, I think it was, and we got absolutely
Too
roasted.
slow. Yep.
Too slow. So for me, I'm going to say a 1-1. I think it'll be a draw. I think Liverpool will respect us though, and they will look at us and go, you know what, West Ham ain't a bad side now. We've got to be careful. But I just hope we don't respect them too much, that we just allow them to play and go straight through us.
Which is what we did when we lost. Yeah. I'm with you.
So for me, I look at it like this. I think if we can get the first goal, then hopefully we can do a job and just see it out. But we need to score first if we're going to get something out of the game. So 1-1 for me, mate.
All right, I'm going to go to Wally next because Nolan was perfect last week, so I'm going to let him go last. So no pressure. No, there's a lot of pressure on you actually. Wally, what do you think's going to happen?
I've got. I think we're going to go up, and they're going to be tight. They're going to be nervous. You know, they haven't lost yet, and they're playing the Mighty Hammer, so they're going to be a little nervous. We're going to hit them 2 goals quickly. And then Salah is going to start diving in the box like he always does. And honestly, we have not been getting the calls, even though how well we're doing. I don't think we're getting the calls still.
Well, we never will. We never
Yeah.
will because they hate us. The Premier League hate us, and everybody hates us.
So Salah's going to get he's going to dive and get a penalty. So it'll end up 2-1 to us. 2-1.
You think we're going to win 2-1? You know what? I love it. But he is going to get a penalty. While
he's going to get a penalty.
I never even thought about that. Who's the referee? Do we know who the ref is yet? Has it been assigned yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So if it's Mike Dean, just
I'll shoot myself.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot we don't know. All right, John.
Anyone but Mike Dean.
I'll tell you what I think very quickly. I'm actually with Charlie on this. I actually think this is exactly how it's going to go down. And of course, I've been wrong most of the time in the past. I do think we can get a draw out of this. I do think there will be goals scored. I fear a Fabianski error. I'm sorry, but I kind of do. But I also think that we're going to give him some problems in the midfield, as Lucas said. I agree with that. I think we can get a draw out of this. I think it'll be a score draw, and I think it'll be more than 1 goal. I think it's going to be like a 2-2, a lot like what Brighton did. Actually, I don't think it's impossible for us to do that. I think it's very possible. I'm not sure I see us winning it, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. I don't fear anybody right now. All right, I don't fear anybody in the Premier League. No fear, caution, yes, but no fear. If we step up to them, and we're healthy, and everybody comes out of Genk without any major problems.
That's the only way I see we lose is if we respect them too much.
Yeah,
that's the only way I see us losing.
If we don't show, I'm with you. If we don't show them respect, which we too often do, if we step up to them the way we stepped up to Manchester City and even Manchester United, if we do that, we can get a result out of this. I think we can get a draw, and it's possible for us to win. Possible. All right, John, you are the authority on West Ham predictions. If you get this wrong, you'll never ever come back on the channel again. So, come on, I'm only joking.
One swallow does not a summer make, right?
Shakespeare.
Wait, is that you talking about Kieran Zwinkel again? Is that anyway? You'd have to ask him about the swallows in the summer. I don't know.
Sounds great.
It's November.
That's like asking Lee about flies. I'm not sure I want to.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm kind of with Happy Hammer on here, and this is not a conversation we're ready to have. But I know. If we win this one, we're in a title race potentially. I mean, that's fucking madness.
If we win this one, the Jonah Hill gif where he's like, he's doing this thing. That's if we win this game on Sunday. This is I'm sweating.
Or this.
Let's not think of a title race just yet.
I'm just saying, if we win, you're right. No, it's true. I know it's November. All right, this season goes a long way. We got to get through Christmas. We got Europa League. We got FA Cup coming up. We got Carabao. We're still in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But right now, in November, early November, if we win this game,
have to get the passport ready.
We're in a title race, a league title race. All right. So what do you think, John? What do you think's going to happen? Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
No, you didn't. I think I led you there, to be honest. But it's crazy to even be talking this way. So, just enjoy it for what it is, no matter what the result. We know what's going to happen. David Moyes is going to put out a team that is going to give 100% commitment. Is going to show professionalism. And whatever talent that we lack compared to Liverpool's players, they're going to make up for with effort and 100% effort. And it's going
I
to be
want to
great.
run through a wall right now, John.
Great to watch. Exactly. So, win or lose, proud of this team.
Same here.
Prediction for, I think what I said earlier, Lucas, I think Declan Rice is going to have a standout game. He's going to show he's the best midfielder on the park. I think it's going to come down to individual moments. It's either going to be Salah moments or it's going to be Antonio moments. So can Antonio get separation? Can he bully the defenders? Because he hasn't been bullying too many defenders lately, or at least maybe they've figured out a way to kind of nullify him a little bit. So I think it's going to come down to is our top three more effective or is their top three more effective? And just the way that things have been going for West Ham lately, and the fact that no matter what we do, we're just fucking massive, apparently. God, Christ, give me 2-1 West Ham.
Yeah, I love it. Listen,
Yeah.
Give it to me.
I'll tell you what. I will.
Right.
One thing I will say with a lot of confidence: we do not get shellacked in this game. We don't get tonked. All right. I do not think it's a 2-0 or 3-0 to them. I don't think that happens. I really don't. And the fact that, and listen, that means we've come a long way as a club. All right. When we can go in to playing a title contender, and we can not only say, we can say confidently, we're going to hang into this. We're going to hang in there for 90 minutes. We will hang in there for 90 plus minutes. I believe that.
Lee, let me say the following thing without trying to laugh or smile. But the only two teams that Liverpool have played that are of our caliber are Man City and Chelsea. And in both those matches they've drawn.
And they drew with Brighton. They drew with Brighton at home on the weekend.
And they drew with Brentford and all.
They drew with Brentford. There we have, again, in my mind, I always go back to, we are minutes away from being unbeaten. All right. We're basically two sort of mistakes away. Yeah. We have not had a game this season where we were out of it in the 90th minute. That has not happened. It has not happened. And so it's not going to happen on Sunday either, in my opinion. I don't know if we'll be down 1-0, 2-1, if we'll be up. I don't know what's going to happen, but this thing will go to the end as a tight match on a knife's edge, and it might kill me. But I'll tell you what, I'd sure rather have this than be looking at the scores from other games saying who's going to pass us and bump us into the relegation zone.
We'd take a 0-0 though, wouldn't we? To be fair, everybody here would take a 0-0.
Yeah, I'd take any kind of point I would take. Yes, absolutely, I'd take it. Yes. But you're right. I mean, why should we sell ourselves short? We are a Europa League team. We lead our group.
We're massive fucking bastards.
Well, we are. We haven't conceded a goal in Europa League. We're legitimately fourth in the Prem, so much so that we could actually lose and stay there after this match. So yeah, I mean, this is a challenge. This is not funky little West Ham with Matty Taylor and you know what I mean, and Thomas Hitzelsberger going out there, trying to salvage a point. That we got some players and we can do this. All right. Anyway, I'm uplifted. I feel as though I've been at some sort of tent revival tonight. And I don't know. I don't feel like this very often, so I've enjoyed this a huge amount. Thank you, Peach. I appreciate that. Thank you, Peach. I'm not doing this, Charlie. All right. I don't have to do this stuff anymore because I can talk about West Ham and enjoy it. Okay. It used to be I had to talk about other stuff because for a while it would just be like a beating. Yes.
It's definitely breast though, isn't it, Lee? Because it's not as advertised.
Well, it just isn't what you think it's going to be. Yeah, exactly. It's not exactly what you think it's going to be. All right. To everybody in the chat room, we appreciate you being here. My friend Lucas over on side of me in Maryland. My buddy James on the other side. Proper Cockney down there in East London. Down? Why would it be down? It's across the ocean. Anyway, over there in East London. Oh, yes. Please check out his channel. I'm putting the right way for once. No, I'm not. Where am I going? E20 Zone. There it is. E20 Zone. There it is. E20 Zone TV. Check it. He does a great job. All right. You guys check this out. Watch the videos. He does a great job. I've watched his stuff. I've commented. It's really good. John in Philadelphia, or not in Philadelphia. You're in central Pennsylvania now. Is that right?
You know,
Amish country? Have you gone Amish? Honest? Have you?
that's all this. I'm still trying to
Yeah.
grow it out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, that makes sense. Do you live on a beet farm with Dwight Schrute and?
That's right.
I,
Wow.
I traded in the Toyota for a horse.
Yeah. Well, I
For a
I mean,
buggy.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I can see that. John, and of course, also in Pennsylvania, the King, the once and future King Wally, and King of Prussia. Listen, all you guys, thanks for being with us. This Monday night thing might actually work out for us if it works for you. My only regret is that Sully can't do Monday nights, and I love having Sully on. The problem is my personal schedule right now. Monday night works really well, so we might try Monday nights from here on out and see how it goes. Anyway,
Cool.
keep an eye out for us on Twitter and on social media and all that. And let's hope we are having a very happy conversation this time next week. And come on, you Irons.
Let's do it. Irons.